My life has begun. Hello, Anonymous. How are you? How's it going tonight? I'm in a new location. Hello, Cesar or Caesar. Either one. Well, not either one, but one or the other, I mean. Hello. Hello, Jesus. Hello, Amitai. Hello, Jadon. Anonymous says he's all right, but he's not sure if he'll be able to stick around long. No problem, Anonymous. If you have a question, get it in now, and I'll try to answer it if I can. Hello, Shelley. Shelley. Could you be a female Shelley? Or it could be a male name as well, I'm not sure. Hello, Niels. Hello, Make Way. Thank you guys for joining my live. Hello, Matt. How are you guys doing? And let me know if you guys have any questions for me about understanding women, about understanding your dating situations, about proper dating etiquette that women expect, about looks maxing. You know, I'm not the foremost world's expert on it, but I can give you guys some basics. Hello, Kevman. Let me know how things are going in your lives on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being amazing, 1 being pure hell. How's your dating life? Shelley's all man. I love it, Shelley. Anonymous gets his question in, and he asks, I guess, how universal do you think these tips are? I'd say near universal. Obviously, it's not going to apply to every single person. There's always going to be someone, like sometimes we have Knick-Knack who comes in here, a female viewer, and she proclaims, oh, none of this is worth for me. I love just making the first move. I love, guys who are really weird, guys who aren't attractive. But I mean, most girls aren't going to be sharing those beliefs, but there could be a couple here and there. But in general, it's pretty much like the basics. So, you can't really go wrong following these tips. However, if the girl tells you, I actually hate when guys do this, by all means say, oh my God, no problem, no worries. Let's change it up. But this stuff that I'm telling you about, it's kind of like the basics. What do you think, Anonymous? And what do you guys think? Niels is a 5. Okay, Niels, that's really not bad. I mean, in the world of dating, having things go a 5 is surprisingly heavenly, in my opinion. Well, what do you think about the 5, Niels? Fact Chat says India was Vishwaguru, the world guru. When they used to have strong character, but for the past 1,000 years, they lost their character for both virginity for a woman, and that's why they suffered. Oh my God, Fact Chat. Are you trying to tell me that women aren't virgins anymore, and that's why India has lost its... That's why India has gone downhill for the past 1,000 years, or am I reading you right, Fact Chat? Let me know. Shelley says, I'm learning that the less I care about what women think about me, the more they like me. Sounds solid, I guess. depending on how you take it. But yeah, all right. Keep doing it if it's working for you, Shelley. Bakes Online says, Victoria, I now find that it's better to approach women without thinking too much. See, girl, approach, be spontaneous, not giving my brain time to keep me safe. Thanks for all your tips too. Sounds good. Bakes Online. I've heard that kind of technique where it's almost like the 1 second rule. Like maybe I read that in Corey Wayne or something like that. Somewhere I was reading that. One of these books for men is just like, don't even think, just act. Sounds like solid advice. There's really not too much, you can prepare for these interactions, in my opinion. Like, the most important thing is just breaking the ice. Rodrigo says, honestly, the more I know women, the less I give a fuck about what they think. Cheers, Victoria. I hope you write a book. Now, you're going to have to explain that, Rodrigo. Explain that. Give me a little more detail on that. Anmol says, there was a girl I had been talking to, and she was always giving me hints, texting first many times, liking my stories, but I found today she tells her friends that I flirt with her, and I've been the one who's pursuing her. Should I still be talking or just block her? Oh, God, Anmol. It really doesn't, do you want to get with this girl? Do you like this girl? Do you want to go on a date with this girl? Do you want to have sex with this girl? Do you want to make out with this girl? If so, why does it matter that she says you're pursuing her? I mean, just make it happen. So no, I would not block her just because she told her friends you're pursuing her. I mean, if you have been like responding to any of her initiations, then in her mind, maybe you are pursuing her because you're responding positively. So don't let your ego blow this up for you, Anmol. Please focus on actually meeting women. I mean, I don't know how many women you've been on dates with or had sex with in your life, but this is a wonderful opportunity for you. This girl, she likes you. So why would you block her? I mean, it's just stupid, really stupid. All right. So Amitai CS says, some moves to be more dominant in the bed. Where do you think that I can learn about being more dominant in the bed? I'm considered masculine, but in the bed, some girl said to me, pull my hair harder. Okay. Yeah. Well, you can get a session with Beardo. He's in the back because he's certainly an expert at this kind of thing. If anyone can show you how to be an insane beast in the bedroom, he can.
They can't afford me.
I don't know if you guys could hear that, but he said you can't afford him. David, what's your price? Hello, Scrimvim. Thank you so much for your super chat. I love the support. Thank you, Scrimvim. He says it's Victoria time. David, name your price for teaching a guy how to be more dominant in bed and use the dominant moves.
Over Zoom?
Over Zoom, yeah.
I guess I'd do it for $125 an hour.
His price is $125 an hour. I'll tell you, Sterling Cooper has a course, and he charges like $1,000 or something. So compared to that, it's a deal. And plus, I've seen Sterling Cooper's course, and David does it better. Beardo, excuse me, does it better. But that's another option for you if you want to learn from a porn star. I'm going to tell you, though, David has a lot more psychological insight than Sterling Cooper. But Sterling Cooper also teaches some of the basics. I was talking to my male gaze coach, and he said that my interview with Sterling Cooper, which I have since taken down, actually inspired him to buy this course. And I was asking him, all right, what do you think of it? He was like, it was good. It was good. Like, it was just, basics that were very helpful to see and know. So there's always that too. Honestly, I do, having watched the course myself, I do think David could do it better by far. So, Scrimvim, thank you so much again for your super chat. And let me know, Scrimvim, if you have any question, because let me answer that. Anonymous says, what's Beardo's price for an in-person role play? Dad? I don't know.
We actually, you and I talked a little bit about maybe doing like a retreat in Las Vegas, remember?
Yeah, we were thinking maybe we should do it in person in Las Vegas. And you could see him demonstrate it in real time. So, Make Way says, should I shower every day or every 7 days? Make Way, I think between the two choices, I'll go with every day. So Anmol says, yes, but I think she's just using all this attention from her friends. This is the girl who's acting like you're pursuing her. Why does it matter, Anmol? Again, please focus on the prize, which is you having sex, which is you having a girlfriend if you want one, which is you going on a date, which is you getting more experience than women. If she's using it for attention from her friends, like what effect does that have on you? So what? Why do you care? Are you like afraid of being a simp? And you think that will like look badly on you? Like you got to get out of this childish mentality and start focusing on the prize, which is actually getting results. Do you agree with that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
So there's this girl and she's been like initiating everything with him, but then she's telling her friends, oh, he's pursuing me. And he's saying, should I just block her?
What does he care what she's telling her friends?
Exactly my point.
Does he know her friends or that?
What do you care? What do you care anyway, Animal? Shelley says, maybe I should say it this way instead. The more I'm just myself with no BS, the more they like me. Well, not all women, right?
Remember you used to tell me like, I don't deserve you or whatever?
Yeah.
It didn't bother me.
I could say anything to David. He'd be like, I don't care. I mean, you guys would have blocked me, run the other way, and still been virgins. No, just kidding. All right, so Idea Generator says, hello, Victoria. How far can good talking skills like banter, dirty talk, sweet talk, well-timed compliments, being witty, intellectual combos, etc., take you with women? Can they replace good looks? Great question, Idea Generator. I mean, in my opinion, yes. However, can they replace good looks with every woman? I mean, some women are just going to be more looks focused in general. Some women are going to kind of be more susceptible to kind of being like emotionally and intellectually stimulated. Whereas some women, it's like, what's most important to them is looks for whatever number of like psychological reasons. But so with every woman, no, but with some women, they'll take you all the way, 100%. And I think all the pickup artists who don't have especially good looks, they don't focus on looks maxing. They're not getting plastic surgery like these black pill people nowadays, but they do very well with that. And they probably don't even have everything you listed there. But yeah, but I'm just saying some women, you're not going to get around the fact that looks is like their number one priority, okay? And maybe they'll outgrow it in time. Maybe they never will. Maybe that's just, I think my friend is a lot like that. So for some women, you got to have the looks to enter, But for other women, they don't fucking care because they're more interested in dirty talk. That's important to them. They're more interested in compliments. They're more interested in intellectual conversation. They're more interested in banter. So it really depends. What do you think, Idea Generator? So Bakes Online says, yes, that's right, Victoria. It's a 3-second rule. Basically, fight or flight response happens when you approach. Your body tells you danger, lol, but rejection is never as bad as your brain believes. I agree with you like 97% of the time bakes on online, and then that 3% of the time, sometimes it's worse. But yeah. Fact Chat says, why women ruthlessly left the men for another one? Are modern women cruel? Okay. So basically, if a woman breaks up with one man and gets together with a different man, that means all women are cruel, or all modern women are cruel? Please, Fact Chat, check your logic there. Okay, there could be millions of reasons why someone would break up with one guy and leave him for another man. And don't globalize that into all women are cruel. There's a few reasons why a woman could leave a man for another one. That would be cruel. There's other reasons that wouldn't be cruel. Okay, what if she was being abused by that man and she left for one who didn't abuse her? Would that mean all modern women are cruel? So,
What if a man leaves a woman?
Yeah, what if a man leaves a woman? Great point, Beardo. Wonderful point. So, does that mean all men are cruel? All modern men are cruel? Think about that, Fact Chat, and get back to me. And if you want, you can rephrase your question. So Matt says, how are you today? Very well, Matt. Greg says, I'm in Vegas. Come out. Oh, I'd love to, Greg. Do you live there? Me and Beardo used to live there as well. It's a great place. We are fans. Or are you just there on vacation? Never mind the classes. If she's not in the mood for the business, can I put her in the mood? And is there a way to do that? Or is it just like, too bad, so sad? So can you get a woman in the mood for sex if she's not in the mood? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I mean, for example, with me, there's a very easy way to get me in the mood. And that's start talking about my dirtiest fantasies. Okay? Suddenly I'm in the mood. You triggered the part of the brain that turns me on. All right? So it can help if you know her well and you know the kind of things that make her horny. They get her turned on. They get her in the mood that sexually and psychologically stimulate her. So, yes, but you kind of have to know these things about her. Do you? Do you know her well enough? Never mind the clout. Do you know, if you had to say, what's the kind of thing that gets her in the mood? What would be your first guess? Never mind the clout. Let me ask you that. Anonymous says, tips for talking to a girl with a boyfriend. Yes, Anonymous. My tip is focus on a girl who doesn't have a boyfriend. Okay? Focus on a girl who is open and wanting to have sex because she isn't having sex because she doesn't have a boyfriend. So she's not having sex regularly. Okay, that is the way to go. Don't fixate and obsess on some girl who has a boyfriend. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Okay? I mean, if you're truly in love with this girl, if you know she's the one, and yet she has a boyfriend, you can play the long game. You can start trying to talk to her, connect with her, befriend her, and then kind of start slipping in. I could be a better boyfriend than your boyfriend, and I'm interested in you, and go that route. But please, focus on people you actually have opportunities with. Again, like what I'm feeling tonight is, I feel like you guys are very, very distracted. Okay?
I wonder if focusing on a girl with a boyfriend is a emotionally safe thing to do, because like if she rejects you, you have a built-in excuse.
Exactly. I mean, I was thinking the same thing. So, do you think, Anonymous, that could be something you're experiencing where it's like, it's almost like an excuse not to get rejected because you talked to her, she doesn't like you. Oh, well, she had a boyfriend. That's probably why. So do you think you're trying to keep yourself safe and protect yourself, protect your ego, instead of actually putting yourself on the line with a girl who has the power to either say yes or no. Not, oh yeah, you're great, but I have a boyfriend. That's not a real rejection. So what do you think, Anonymous? Pope says, please answer. Pope, I can't even see your first question, so because I'm just going down. So copy and paste it again. Maybe YouTube censored it because I'm actually doing the top chat instead of the all chat. So let me know, Pope.
If you have such a burning question, I'm sure it's worth $2 super chat.
Yeah, Pope, you could always super chat me and I'll definitely see that. So Sam says, what problems you are facing today? Let us leave it to tomorrow. I like that, Sam. Nice. Mark says, my dating life is 0 out of 10. Oh no, Mark. My wife left me 2 years ago and I'm paying off a large debt from the marriage. Oh God, yeah. Haven't tried dating yet because I think women will be turned off by my situation. Am I right? First of all, Mark, I'm sorry. I know how difficult divorces like that can be. It can take all your money and leave you with nothing and leave you in debt. So, however, it is not impossible to get into a new situation. Some women might be turned off. Some women might not be turned off. Okay? You never know. And it's not going to be just an instant turn off. If they like you, they might be willing to pay the price to have you. And the price is accepting you have debt. But let's say you're super good in bed, let's say. It might be worth it to them to be with a guy who's super good in bed, who also has a large debt. Maybe that's not that important to them. Maybe they have money of their own. That they don't need your money. So don't rule yourself out. You never know who you're going to meet. And no, not all women will be turned off by the fact that you have a large debt from the marriage. I mean, it's a pretty common situation for people to take a huge financial hit after divorce. So you can still go out there. You can still date. David, do you have any tips on this?
Yeah, there's plenty of fish in the sea.
He says there's plenty of fish in the sea. Isn't that true, dude? Some women will be turned off and some women will be turned on by your positive qualities.
Yeah.
So Kevin says, I like results. They're better than insults. I'll show myself out. All right, Kevin, I might have missed the thing earlier. Samuel77 says, how do you win her over if she's not interested right away? If I go mode 1, she would just reject unless she likes me from moment 1. I agree, Samuel77. Like mode 1, well, I don't agree completely, but I understand what you're saying in that mode 1 is not the only way to play things, okay? If you want to live and die by mode 1, go for it, okay? It's got pros and cons. That's not the only way to do things, because yes, I agree, it will turn off a lot of people. So, how do you win her over if she's not interested right away? Well, I mean, Samuel, do you think like no man has ever slowly won over a girl playing the long game, seducing her? I mean, that's basically what the term seduction means. It's like slowly getting someone to open up and fall more and more in love with you. So it's not like it's impossible. So yeah, there is a way to win her over little by little, developing connection, developing chemistry, developing, friendship or whatever. So yeah. Nana says, I was too nervous to ask her out for several months. Should I still go for her? Absolutely. Okay. So what's a couple months? I mean, as I always tell you guys, women have men coming out of the woodwork from high school, from elementary school, popping up and being, hey, what's up? Like you haven't not talked to them for decades. I mean, guys do that all the time. She's not going to be shocked that a man suddenly asks her out who hasn't before. So it's go for it. Oh, we got Nani in the chat. Thank you so much for your super chat, Nani. He says, I gave a woman a good time last night.
Hell
What?
yeah.
Beardo says, hell yeah. Reading She Comes First really paid off. And also, I finally shaved my goatee, chin beard, so I'm finally diving into looks maxing. What, Nani? I'm thrilled. This is incredible. So when you say you gave her a good time last night, am I reading into that right? Wow. Reading She Comes First really paid off. So I'm guessing, Nani, she had an amazing time. You kind of implied that. She loved your skills in bed, which you got from She Comes First, and your looks maxing is paying off. I know from watching Nani's stories, he's been intensively looks maxing, rain or shine, running like a madman. Okay, wow, Nani, just incredible. I'm really, really happy for you. And this has been a long time coming, and it's finally starting. All right, so I'm just really, really happy for you. Wonderful. So question for you, Nani. When you shaved off your goatee, do you think it improved your look? Like when you kind of compared the before and after, you're like, oh yeah, that definitely improved it. I'm curious. Yeah. Absolutely wonderful. Tell us more. And thanks so much again for the super chat. And also, I'm curious, how did you meet this woman you showed a good time to? So, Jimmy Dare. Hello, Jimmy Dare. He says, it's important for a guy to date lots of women, not only to figure out what he wants in a woman, but even more important, to figure out what he doesn't want in a woman. Very solid advice, Jimmy Dare. I mean, I couldn't agree more. So Pope says, hey, I've been asking a question for a while now. Please answer. Pope, I'm sorry, I haven't seen it. I don't know if it has a word like sex in it or something. Maybe it's been censored or maybe a link in it. But can you try rephrasing it and putting it in the chat again?
Super chat, you cheap bastard.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but you can always super chat. Idea Generator says, I always think about the Italian Gabriele D'Annunzio, who was ugly and had all the women he liked using his talking skills, but maybe social media made women desire the male as a raw body, not spirit. Absolutely not, Idea Generator. But again, I guess it depends, what kind of women. At the same time, like if you are only going for some kind of Instagram influencer model, perhaps it's very important to her to also have like an Instagram model boyfriend. So, take that into account as well. Are you going for someone who's obviously focused heavily on looks? Think about that. I don't know. So, Kevman says, girls with boyfriends seem to focus on me. What's going on? Like I sometimes want to call their guys and tell them stop taking her for granted. Well, Kevin, my guess is you probably have good connection, like emotional connection skills with women. Sometimes, women get into a relationship with a guy who's got a lot of raw masculinity, but he doesn't necessarily have the soft skills, and they miss that and they lack that in relationships. So sometimes a guy who can offer that is very attractive to a woman with a boyfriend. So, Bill Usher. Hello, Bill. He says, my questions are, where do women ideally want to meet men, and what, if anything, is different about meeting the most attractive 1% of women? I mean, people at the very top of looks, they can have their pick, okay? They can be extremely picky about what they want. They can be extremely lookist. In other words, extremely picky about your looks, okay? Just like you're very picky about their looks, it seems like, Bill. So you're going to have to compete at the top levels, because most men seems like they would do anything to have somebody who just looks like, wow. I mean, most like Victoria's Secret supermodels or whatever, they're married to billionaires. Okay. So there's that. MX says, or they're married to like professional athletes. Think about like the Kardashians. Kylie Jenner's dating Timothy Chalamet, probably like the hottest actor out there right now.
Is that right?
Yep.
Kylie Jenner's?
Kylie Jenner, Timothy Chalamet, they're an item. Kim Kardashian, she dated Kanye West, probably the most like, if not, one of the most popular, like greatest artists of our generation. So that's the kind of people they have to choose from, and that's the kind of people they pick. So yeah. Of another Victoria's supermodel who I used to think was like extremely beautiful. She's dating like Bernard Arnault, who's like, he's a billionaire. He owns like every single luxury fashion company out there. I don't know. They date like the president and people like that. So MX says, my impression about women is that the quality of sex is extremely important for them, but almost all relationship advice for men is about other things. Isn't that strange? Yeah, I think it is a little strange, MX. Yeah, I think that's an interesting point, because I know it's extremely important for me. And yeah, I don't see a lot of men getting like really good sex tips. So yeah, I think it is pretty interesting. Like, for example, Nani read She Comes First, which is a great book about sex, but yeah, it doesn't seem like they're focused on, I guess they're kind of more focused on actually get the opportunity to have sex rather than once you're there, how to be good at sex and retain the people that you have sex with. But yeah, I think it is a little strange, MX myself. Nani says, yup, she came. Lol, wink. Wonderful, Nani. Wonderful. Nani says, it did improve. She actually recommended me to shave it off. See, that's very interesting. See, it's like the more experience you get with women, the more chances they'll have to actually tell you what's good and bad about you, or what they're liking or not liking about you. So this woman, Nani, seems to have just slept with. She actually told him, shave off the goatee, like it will be better. And he did. And he said it actually improved his look. So yeah, wonderful advice from a woman. Just one of the perks of getting experience with women. Anonymous says, what is your opinion on solo mustaches? Should I combo with a goatee? Well, Anonymous, I think it's really you're gonna have to do an individual analysis of your face. Like, you can't just give some broad sweeping generalization what's going to look good on every single face, every single ethnicity, race, bone structure. Like, different people's hair is going to complement their face in different ways. So maybe like do something where you kind of remove it with Photoshop and see what looks better. Another thing, Philosophy Junkies, my friend, he recommends is find like some kind of model or actor or celebrity or influencer who kind of looks like you, but it's kind of like you in an aspirational way. Like, oh, I think I could look like that person if I just look smashed harder. And you can kind of model your facial hair off that person. So that's another way.
It seems like your viewers are so scared to be in a relationship, but it's like not a meme, but that like women get into a relationship with a guy and then he becomes much more attractive.
Yeah.
He has more options and he moves on to other people, right?
Yep. That's something women talk about a lot, is like, as a woman, you up level the guy. You get him a whole new wardrobe, you change his facial hair, you change his hairstyle. And then he like looks a lot better and he looks more appealing and attractive to the female gaze.
He learns how to relate to women.
He learns how to relate to women.
Better
in bed.
gets less nervous with women.
Yep. And then he can actually move on to more attractive women or whatever he wants more. So yeah, women are kind of scared of that. But it kind of implies that being in a relationship with women can actually be the best teaching grounds for what women like and what's appealing to women. Right, dude?
What was the last thing you said?
It's like the best school
Yeah, I heard that. What was the last?
for what's appealing to women and what women like.
Yeah, for sure.
So then Nani says, I'll tell you how I met her another time. Wow, I can't wait to hear that, Nani. You better keep me updated because I'm very interested. So then Joe Rocket says, still vegan? Of course, Joe. Vegan for life. Thanks for asking. Doom says, non-leather life's boyfriend's deep voice feels like a masculine superhero. Just saved her from a falling building. Flew to his close-by balcony, slowly placed her down, and head out to save the world.
Wow.
Wow, Dooms, what a comment. I love it. You really painted a picture for me. I'm touched that you think that. David? Pretty cool.
That's very nice.
Pretty cool comment. Thanks to Dooms. Cubman, he's calling me out. He says, that's a cop-out. What drives these women to do that? Okay. So it's a cop-out to say that you probably have good emotional connection skills, because that was my theory of what drives these women to do that. What do you want me to say, Kevin? That they just love you so much because you got such a big dick and they can see the outline through your pants? And they just want to jump on your dick because your dick is bigger than their boyfriend's? It seems like that's what you want me to say. You're trying to like goad me. No, it must be that I'm just so attractive. I don't know, Kevin. I mean, that's my impression. That's my impression of what most women are lacking in relationships. Okay? Not the guy who has a bigger dick, but the guy who actually can emotionally connect with them. So that's my experience. What do you think it is, Kevin? Give me your guess, because I feel like you didn't like my answer and you want me to say something else. And it's probably women are evil and manipulative and they leave the boyfriends they have, or women over the age of 30 are like bitter and jealous. And I don't know, or you've got a big dick and they want you so bad and they're just I fucking you and I fucking your dick. I really don't know what you want, Kevin. So
Is this a truth bomb?
yeah, that was a truth bomb. That was an absolute truth bomb. But let me know, Kevin. So Steve from Brooklyn is here. I just got down to Miami today from New York. What are we talking about tonight? Same thing we talk about every night, Steve S. Women, men, male blind spots, female blind spots, understanding women's sex, sexual fantasies, these kinds of topics. Dating, secrets of the female mind. So Kevin says, I have so many things that women want. Do you, Kevin? I feel like you just want me to like masturbate you through the screen like many men on my channel. They just want to like brag and have me be like, oh, yep. They want you so bad. I just don't think it makes sense in this situation, all right? But let me know. Steve S. says, I'm 6'2", athletic, dark-haired financial professional, own 3 homes. Not bragging, but it is what it is. I've dated hundreds of women. On another note, I like Victoria's warm eyes. Okay. Thank you, Steve S.
Can't have her, Steve S.
Okay. Fact Chat says, why women ruthlessly left the men for another one? Are they cruel? Fact Chat, we've been through this. You want to believe women are cruel so bad. Okay? Please open your mind. to other possibilities of why a woman might leave a man. Okay? And guess what? There's more possibilities than they're cruel, they're evil, they're manipulative, they're vindictive, they're over 30, they've hit the wall. Modern women in this day and age are cruel. Masked Man says, how do you feel about cold approach? I think it's dumb. I do not think it's dumb, Masked Man, but I could understand if you do think it's dumb. Okay? Because, like, you know, you're taking a chance. You're going on a limb. I mean, it's maybe less likely that some random woman on the street is just single and open to meeting a stranger than she would be if she's on a dating app and she's literally written she's single and what she's looking for. However, it's not dumb because there's always a chance. You never know. You should take that chance. You should talk to strangers. If you see someone out and about, you're just like, her, I'm drawn to her. Or in your case, she's very attractive with 2 circles, a triangle, and an S shape, and a half circle on her mouth in the form of a smile. Like, yeah. So I don't think it's dumb. I think you should be doing it, Masked Man, but I think you should have low expectations. Okay. Keep your expectations low, but still take the chance. Kevin says, hey, Vic, sorry I wasn't answering. It can't be my dick, though. It's tiny. All right, Kevin, man. So Gerardo says, am I blocked? You're not, Gerardo. Bill Usher says, I can see that comment, Gerardo, but they remove comments automatically sometimes. You can check by opening an incognito tab. Interesting, Bill. Well, it's not me. I haven't like blocked anyone or removed any comments on this live or anything. So I'm not sure, but yeah, YouTube sometimes censors it. I don't really know why. So then Mark Hazeldine says, or Dean says, what is your view on age gap relationships? I'm 41. I'm not rich, as I said before. I'm interested in women in the 25 to 35 range. Do you think I'd be making life too hard for myself? I mean, me and Beardo have an age gap, so it's possible. I mean, I don't think that's a crazy age gap. I mean, especially if you want to have kids, it's understandable why you would want women in that age range. You know, you'll definitely have more options if you open it up to more age ranges, but what do you think, dude? He's 41 and he wants women 25 to 35. What do you think?
First of all, I think you're a lot more edgy when I'm not on the live with you.
What, dude?
You're a lot more edgy when I'm not on the live with you.
So you think I'm like holding back?
Huh?
You think I'm holding back?
When I'm on the live with you, you're a lot like nicer, softer, more feminine.
So are you on the live with me now or not?
No.
Oh, so you're not on the live?
No.
What? Okay. So you're saying I'm being very edgy
Yeah.
right now?
I guess part of it is when when I am on with you, like I'm the edgy one, so you don't have to be.
Oh, I still think I'm more edgy than you when you're on the live. But yeah, I agree. I kind of just defer to you because you're the special guest of honor. So I'm like, let Beardo speak. They've already heard me speak a lot.
I mean, like you're more angry. You're more like direct right now than.
Oh yeah. Well, if you've seen a lot of my other lives, you'll see that this is actually toned down for me.
That's what I'm saying though. When I'm on with you and I'm sitting right next to you, you're.
Yeah, but I'm saying this is like midway, I think.
Yeah.
Because you're in the room but not next to me. So do you find it bad because it's like, oh, she is masculine and angry?
No, I don't find it bad.
So do you like it better when I'm more edgy or more feminine?
I mean, I like both. When we're like, you know, hanging out, I'd rather you be happy and you know, love brain, sex brain, you know, but you also like, you can't get somebody's real opinions if they're just like saying all the nice things, you know?
Very true.
About the age gap thing,
Yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head, honestly, about the kids.
Okay. So you're saying it's okay, but I mean, 41 to 25 to 35. I mean, you're going to have more trouble with the 25-year-olds than the 35-year-olds. I think the 35-year-olds are going to be fine with 41. But any other points there, dude?
I mean, like, a lot of women like older men, so.
Okay. Meathead Rob. Hello, Meathead Rob. Anonymous says, thank you for your help. Hope you and your boyfriend have a wonderful night. Thanks, Anonymous. Steve S says, who is the dude in the background? I'm not sure I like him around here. His name is Beardo, Steve. Bill Usher, I'll just block mine too. Try rephrasing it.
I'm not sure I'm trying to be liked.
He doesn't try to be likable ever. Shamanic Wisdom Keeper says, how to unwreck the heart. Oh, wow. Very poetic, shamanic. To be honest, in my opinion, find somebody new. That's what helps. Find a new friend, find a new connection, have sex. As they always say, the fastest way to get over someone is to get under someone. That's what they say to women, but I've honestly found it to be insanely true. But, it sucks. There's no way around that. I mean, if you lose someone, there's no one like that in the rest of the whole world, okay? You lost someone kind of irreplaceable, and that hurts. And there's nothing to do about it, and it's painful. You can meet someone who's different in a new and interesting way, but never the same. So, Pitaiglon says, women bad, men good. That is the impression of many men on my channel, it seems, but not all. Definitely not all men. And if you're here, I don't think that's probably your impression because you seem open to learning. So I respect and appreciate that a lot. So Gerardo says, which word did I say wrong? I'm not sure, Gerardo. I'm not sure. MX says, I disagree with what you said about elite women. I've had some models and I've found one doesn't need to be elite to have them, only needs a decent mixture of looks, good clothes, and confidence. Okay. I mean, it depends how elite we're talking about. Like he said 1%. So I guess that just means like 1 out of every 100, like the most attractive 1 out of 100 women, right? So I guess that's not so crazy, but I was thinking more like Victoria's Secret models, Kim Kardashian and stuff. I mean, you think you could just walk up to Kim Kardashian and have her with a mixture of looks, good clothes, and confidence? I don't think so. But, just a very good looking girl? Probably, yeah. So Bill Usher says, is it true women are more attracted to men with other women? Yeah, to men with other women? Like, do you mean kind of like a man who's in a relationship, or a man who's like surrounded by a bevy of models, or, a man who has female friends, or a man who's just standing with women? Like, let me know, Bill. Steve S says, I might need to steal Victoria away from that dude in the background.
Come at me, bro.
So, Make Way says, I'm 20. Do you think I could get at women who are 30 to 60? What do you think, dude?
Yeah.
He says, yeah. Blank says, Steve, she's 6'5". That's right, Blank, I'm 6'5". Kebman says, cold approach done right feels like it's meant to be. But it won't be like that if you're nervous, so you got to chill and take out the expectations. All right. Phoenix 6056 says, what would make a woman think that I have high standards in dating? I've had a few female coworkers pointed out to me. Well, Phoenix, I mean, if you're talking with them and you're saying, oh, I'm not interested in this girl, I'm not interested in this girl, she's not my type. If you're talking kind of like fresh and fit style about like, I only like submissive women, blah, 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 blah. All these kind of things that leak out in conversation that are in any way critical of women's appearance, their age, their lifestyle, would make women think this. So I don't know if you have mentioned anything critical relating to women, because they'll probably be annoyed, and if they're dumb enough, they might think you have high standards in dating. So Kevman says, I date 25-year-olds. I'm 46. It's no problem if you're chill with it. Might catch some scorn from older women, though. Oh, God. Mark Hazeldine says, lol, thanks for the long answer. No problem. Or I don't know if that was sarcastic because I forgot if my answer was actually long or short. Gerardo says, what do you think of Better Call George on YouTube? Gerardo, I haven't seen him. I've heard him mentioned a lot, but I don't remember seeing him. So if you send me a link, mynonleatherlife@gmail.com, that'd be awesome. Could you check him out and give us your opinion? Yeah, send me a link that you like of his. Phoenix 6056 says, I really don't, but maybe it's my mannerisms. I have seen women hook up with slobs and bums. Maybe I should care less about being clean and mature. Well, certainly if you're talking to your coworkers about how you only like clean and mature women, they're going to be like, oh my God, this guy has issues. Because, when most guys talk about like mature women, it's very coated with all sorts of like, in my opinion, I'm not going to say misogyny, but it's very critical in a very non-female gaze way. We'll say that. So yes, if you've mentioned anything about being clean and mature, there's no doubt they'll be thinking that. So Alex says, I'm glad you noticed that. Notice what, Alex? Kevman says, cold approach gets even better once you find your inner bliss. When you do, women will cold approach you or just kiss you from out of nowhere. Now I know you lying, Kevman. Okay. All right. That was the giveaway. You had me on a razor's edge for the rest, but now I know you're trolling me because no, women do not just walk up to you and kiss you out of nowhere and cold approach you once you find your inner bliss. Maybe once you find your inner model, once you find your inner 8-pack, once you find your inner movie star, but not when you find your inner bliss. Women, don't set these guys up for these false expectation that they can just sit back, never get rejected, and young women are just going to come up for them out of the blue and kiss them out of nowhere. Please. So Andy says, thank you, lady. You are great. Thank you, Andy. JG. Hello, JG. He says, the Vortex's hair is looking elite today. Why, thank you, JG. That's very nice. And I always remember your teaching about buying the most expensive shampoo for women. This guy's a master male gaze teacher for women. If there's any women on here, if I had a channel for women, I'd send them to my male gaze coaches, and JG would certainly be one of them. And Mick says, I was talking about 1% in looks, not 1% richest celebrities. Oh, come on, MX. But okay. Hamza Awesome says, have you ever heard of Ho Math? What do you think of his take on how men and women experience attraction? So I have watched a couple Ho Math videos. Okay. Some are cool. I don't agree with everything. And I haven't watched enough of his videos to have like some kind of, some kind of like bird's eye view of his take on how men and women experience attraction. But I did like some of his videos. I'm like, all right, that's a cool idea. I like the visual representation of your idea. Some of them are a little stupid in my opinion. Like someone sent me, my male gaze coach, he sent me this video on levels. I thought it was really bad. Okay. But other videos of his, I thought they were okay. So I don't know, Hamza, how would you summarize his take on how men and women experience attraction? Certain things I didn't agree with. Gerardo, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate that. He says, can you share your email again so I can send you the Better Call George link? Sure. My nonleatherlife@gmail.com, Gerardo. Same as my channel, gmail.com. Thank you so much, Gerardo. Pitylon says, oh yes, I feel like I'm really the one in fault in general, but the problem is I don't really want to change. I feel comfy now as I am. Uh-oh. That's well, is it a problem, Pitylon? It doesn't seem like maybe it is a problem. Like maybe that's good. You're at peace with yourself. You've accepted yourself, and maybe there's no reason to change at this point. So Fact Chat says, is it true that first love is the strongest? You know, it's not the strongest in the sense of the best, but I think it can be very powerful in a painful way, in kind of like a intensity way. So in a sense, I agree, but in a sense, I don't agree that it's the best or the deepest, but can certainly be the most strongest in the sense of most painful, most intense, most heartbreaking, most devastating, most crushing, most euphoric. So what do you guys think? Mr. Blackshield says, come at my bro, he ain't playing. There, that's you. JG, he says, come at my bro, he ain't playing.
I'm not playing?
Yeah, you're not playing.
Yeah, I ain't playing. Not when it comes to my girl.
JG says, I like seeing Beardo quick on that trigger. Come at me, bro. Steve S says, I'm not going to come at Beardo. I'm going to come at Victoria.
Good attitude.
He said good attitude. So. Phoenix 6056 says, I never critique women, especially when talking to them. Haha. If anything, I never share what my type is. I don't subscribe to the red pill lifestyle. Amazing, Phoenix 6056. So you never let anything slip. What about this clean and mature thing you mentioned before? Bill Usher said, from a woman's perspective, how would you want a guy to handle your friends or other guys getting in the way when talking to you? So I'm kind of confused on this. From a woman's perspective, how would you want a guy to handle your friends or other guys getting in the way when talking to you? Beardo, maybe you want to answer this. I'm picturing like a scenario, you're at a club and there's another guy who's talking to you, and what should the guy who's also trying to hit on you do or say to kind of like get that guy out of the picture, or just kind of like,
Two guys are competing for one woman?
I'm guessing. What would you do?
I don't know. Why don't you clarify the question?
All right, clarify the question, Bill. But if I am correct, you could just say like, oh, let's, like, you could kind of move her away, like, come over here, let's go, to a place, talk somewhere else in the club, pull her into a corner, pull her into a different area. And then also, would you want a guy to handle your friends? I mean, usually the girl will handle her friends for herself. Like if, the friends are kind of stepping in and being like, should we go? Just give me the signal if you want this guy to stop talking to you. If you really like the guy, the girl will be like, no, like, I'm good. I want to stay with this guy. I mean, that's how it always was with like me and my friends. Like they would kind of be like, should I step in? And I'm like, no, like I'm basically communicating to them with body language, with visuals, or even just pulling them aside and being like, no, I really like this guy. So you don't really need to worry about that. If the woman's into you and the woman likes you, she will handle her friends for you, and she will go with you over another guy. But you could clarify, Bill. So Illidan says, does calling her name in a different tone make a lot of difference or irrelevant? So I'm guessing, like, are you saying, could it turn her on to say her name in like a sexy way or a deep voice or something like that? I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to make a lot of difference, but it could be like sexy to her, you know? But explain more, Illidan, what scenario you're thinking of. Phoenix says, I never regurgitate any red pill BS, so no worries about that. That is refreshing to hear.
Everybody like and subscribe.
Yeah. Like and subscribe, guys. Thanks, Dad. Steve S says, let me get a look at Beardo, then I'll know if I have a chance of stealing Troy. That would not let you know if you have a chance of stealing me. What would that tell you? Seriously.
If you gotta look at Beardo's dick, you know he doesn't have a chance.
Oh, burn. Oh, God, that's funny, dude. Good one. So, Nani says, walking through the city while listening to the live. It's a great combo. I never knew I needed it. Ah, Nani. You must be on cloud 9 after what happened. I'm very happy for you. Pit Tiglon says, I feel like this chat is a meeting of terminal cases for men. Well, it is Saturday night and we're all not out at, the club or on a date or having sex. What does that say? No, just kidding. But you know what? We can't all be hitting up, painting the town red as they say every night, but it's fine, Pitiglon, because we're all here to learn. Stupid. Why did I say that?
It's not stupid.
So this guy, Die66Y says, if you post a selfie and a girl likes it, what does that mean? I mean, it could mean a lot of stuff. It could mean that she thinks you're good looking. It could mean that she likes you as a person and a friend and wants to support you. So it could mean that, she has good feelings and goodwill towards you and wants to kind of maintain a friendship. I guess that's kind of like the last one, but it doesn't necessarily mean she wants you so bad, bro. She wants to fuck you so bad, so you're in luck. It doesn't mean you got the green light so hard. However, you have the green light in general to initiate, like her photos, message her, ask her out, whether or not she likes your selfie. So just remember that. Meathead Rob. Thank you so much for your super chat, Meathead Rob. Yeah?
You guys have to understand that dick is in high supply.
Okay. Go on.
Like, no woman who wants dick is like having trouble finding it.
That's a good point to keep in mind. Yeah. So do you think they think it's not? I guess that's implied, right? So Meathead Rob says, so I have a date with a trans woman this week. Never imagined I would, but I think she's pretty and like her a lot. Any tips/thoughts? Wow, Meathead Rob. I think it's awesome. You're going to have a new, interesting experience. Let me know how it goes, Meathead Rob. And I like that you're open-minded. And she could be a really amazing person and probably very good in bed, if you know what I mean. So this will be a very interesting experience, Meathead Rob, and I hope it goes well. Keep me updated. Email me, mynonleatherlife@gmail.com, and let me know how it goes. Thanks again for your super chat. So Steve S says, I like Victoria's energy and her warm brown eyes. I'd enjoy taking her out for a nice dinner and talk over a nice bottle of wine.
What the fuck?
Oh, Steve S, you're cracking me up. So,
is this what happens all the time on these lives when I'm not around?
Now, usually they're like insulting me. They're like literally just trolling me. Steve S is making me look good. Cubman says, yes, I have been kissed on, Carl Johan. I have made out with women out of nowhere. It can be done, but you need to learn inner peace. Kevin, I'm sorry, but you're literally acting like a cult leader, guru, con man right now. Really, it all comes back to inner peace. And, just join my cult and I will teach you the secret of inner peace. Just buy my $3,000 course and become enlightened, and you too can learn inner peace. I know, Kevin. So, Blue Frog March says, best cologne scent. Blue Frog March, I wish I could answer this question. I can't, because I don't know, because I'm kind of like sensitive to artificial scents, so I don't really like them. But they can be good. I just don't like Beardo to like wear anything, so might ask someone else that question. So Stanley says, the Reds waiting for you. Explain that, Stanley. Evgeny, hopefully I pronounced it right. Inkin says, hello from Russia, Siberia. Thank you for your videos. How thoughtful and knowledgeable they are. Sorry I cannot donate from Russia due to sanctions. Our cards are not accepted. You are great in what you do. Thanks. Oh my gosh, that's wow. Thank you so much, Evgeny. Siberia, I had like a fascination with Siberia when I was younger. What's it like living there? I really appreciate it. Bill Usher says, what makes a guy have banter and humor that is attractive rather than being a dancing clown? Haha.
Ask the guy from Siberia what they think about Bitcoin.
Evgeny, Beardo wants to know, what do you think of Bitcoin? Bill Usher says, okay, David, answer this one. What makes a guy have banter and humor that is attractive rather than being a dancing clown? Jester maxing. What is the art to a good jester max?
I
don't know. Sometimes David borders clown, but I enjoy it. I don't know. It's a good question, Bill Usher. It really is. Maybe, does anyone know if there's a channel on this kind of thing? It's a great question, but it seems like kind of a hard question to answer. It's like, what is the underlying principle that makes things funny rather than just annoying? Probably like, if someone could answer that question, they'd be making the big bucks, am I right? But it's a great question. Make Way says, should I fight other men when I'm around my women? No, you should not just randomly fight other men. But, if you have to fight another man, if push comes to shove, there might be a time and place for fighting other men. But there also might be a time and place for kind of respectfully stepping down. What do you think, dude?
Fight?
Should you fight other men when you're around your woman? Only if you have to. Only if absolutely necessary. If there's no other peaceful, non-violent resolution. Well,
you don't want to look like you're backing down either.
David says you don't want to look like you're backing down. I mean, that's important. So, but I mean, isn't there a time to just kind of back down and be like, you're right, let's go. You know what I mean? And not take a beer bottle and like smash it over someone's head, right, dude? So how do you know what that line is when in this situation, you cannot back down versus the mature, leaderly, respectful thing to do would be to de-escalate and back down. What do you think, dude?
Great question.
Okay. He doesn't know. We stumped him. All right. It's a great question. I wish I could give you a better answer. The Dooms, he super chatted me. Thank you so much, The Dooms. He says, Past timeline, knights fought for the hand of Princess Vic. A mighty knight, Lord David, just fought, challenging himself for glory. Won every duel, got back on his horse, walking out the castle grounds. Lady Vic knew she's his Valentine. That's just a heart emoji with. I love it, Dooms. Thank you so much for your storytelling. You're making my imagination go wild. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for your super chat. And I'm curious, Dooms, where are you from? What is AED? I'm wondering. Really appreciate it.
AED?
Yeah, AED. So, let's see. So Agent 2 says, hey Victoria, first time seeing her live. Do you have any advice on how to keep a woman's attention, especially after meeting them a few times and knowing them casually as a friend? Well, guess what will do it? Sex. Sex will keep a woman's attention. Agent 2. Having good sex, making them come, being the source of giving them orgasms. That keeps a woman's attention. Because there's so much sexual stigma for women that if they have a safe guy they can go to for sex, that they trust, that is good in bed, you have something very, very powerful. So you've met them a few times and you know them casually as a friend. Have you guys made out? Have you guys had sex? Have you made her feel like a woman? Have you made her feel feminine? Have you made her come? That will keep her attention. Agent 2. Let me know. So Phoenix says, okay, for example, I work with people around my age, 23, 28, and I carry myself a little more mature than my coworkers. I'm great at socializing, but I'm not the funny guy. I don't smoke or do drugs. Okay. So you seem to be saying you're a little more mature than your coworkers. So yeah, maybe they're kind of like thrown off guard, like, oh, maybe he judges us because like we do drugs and smoke and like he doesn't. So he probably is like thinks he's too good for us or something, or wants someone more mature. Kevin says, but serious question, Vic, have you never approached and kissed a guy? Have you never been drawn to a guy like that, or is this completely out of your reality? So have I ever just walked up to a guy out of the blue, kissed him on the lips, and then like walked away? I mean, that's insane, Kevin. Okay. No, I have not done that.
Maybe you've never met a guy with inner peace before.
Yeah, exactly. Good point, dude. Illidan Storm Rage. Wow, I kind of like that name. The scenario is that there are 4 girls that had a crush on me in my club, but 3 works as a staff in there, and as a member, I can't be direct on the topic of an open relationship because they work there. Okay. So 4 girls have a crush on you, and you want to have an open relationship with them all? I mean, I don't know what kind of open relationship this is, but you can just say, listen, I'm polyamorous, I'm non-monogamous, but when you say open relationship, I think you mean you want to secretly date them all? Well, I mean, that's going to be very, very difficult, impossible situation, Illidan, without things blowing up in your face. Let's just say that. Way Up Dude says, hey man, is Dave here? If you call Beardo Dave, then yes. Phoenix says, my coworkers or any woman my age almost always does or partakes in it. I'm just a clean-cut guy, but whenever I try to escalate with women when we're out, it's my less attractive coworkers who have better luck. Okay, so you're thinking that maybe the reason that women don't like you, even though you're more attractive, is because you don't do drugs and they think you have too high standards. I doubt that's it, Phoenix. I think it's probably the way you're escalating. Yeah. Unfortunately. Tatiglin says, Thanks for the answers. I appreciate it. Keep the good work. It's interesting. Okay, I'm glad you're liking him. That's really nice. Phoenix says, and in passing, one of my female coworkers stated I look like someone who has high standards, even though I never talk down on women or talk about what I look for. Yeah, maybe you're just coming off a little too reserved, a little too introverted, a little too closed off, and you're not really putting yourself out there in a sense of the complimenting, the flirting, the making the moves, has the Todd Valentine's, has man-women interaction, making it polarized interaction, making it sexual, making it flirtatious when you're out with them. So, Jake Trask says, ew, what? I'm repulsed. Not sure what Jake Trask, but Meathead Rob says, I will do that. Fernando D says, this woman is an absolute genius, true wisdom and insight into human nature. She has clear view of base instinct. Oh, thank you, Fernando D. You flatter me. Steve S says, okay, I came here for Victoria's warm energy and brown eyes. Steve S, I don't have brown eyes, just FYI. I have to get going soon. Open invitation to Victoria to go out on a date. Very good, Steve. I'm glad you're putting yourself out there. Thank you for joining. Thank you for all the compliments. I really appreciate it. And gave me some good laughs with Beardo's comments. Wonderful to have you. I hope you come back soon. Have a great time. I forget if you're in Miami, but it sounds like it will be a blast. Jacques says, I do not want to understand. Okay, Jacques. No pressure. Bill Usher says, how do you create a vibe of her wanting to please you as opposed to her just wanting you to please her? How about like being a dom in bed? That could help. What do you think, dude? I mean, if she really likes you and she gets attached to you, she will want to please you in order to keep you. Okay? If she knows she has a good thing going, she will start wanting to please you so that, she knows you don't find someone better. But
what is this fellow providing, right?
Okay.
Like, why should she want to please him?
Okay, that's a good question, David. Yeah. So it's like, okay. You want to elaborate on that?
No.
Okay. I guess that will be up to me then. Because I live to please him. So how do you create a vibe of her wanting to please you as opposed to her just wanting you to please her? So with Beardo's comment, I thought it was really good. It's like, let's say you're giving her really good sex. She knows when she looks around at Tinder, at the guys around her, she knows what's the chances I'm going to get good sex from all these other guys. Then she knows she has to be on good behavior or maybe she'll lose you. So I guess what Beardo's saying is make sure you're actually giving her something she wants, she values, she needs. That's invaluable to her. Right, dude?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I got it right. So Illidan says Siberia is cold as fuck. That's what I've heard. Like, how cold, Illidan? I'm curious. Jake Trot says, imagine asking about a trans woman. That's a literal man. Are you mentally ill? That's his knowledge about adult female. Okay. Wow. Transphobia. So Pit Island says, let's fight for women. Okay. So Jake Trot says, I didn't know you were a Satanist. Actually, I am a Satanist. I'm a Levian Satanist. So, yeah. Now you know. The more you know, right? So Meathead Rob says, I'd fight Jake Twat right now if you were in the same room as me. Love it, Meathead Rob. Yep. I think it's good. Jake Trot says he's a Christian. How did I guess, Jake Trot? Evgeny says, Siberia is cold but beautiful. The women are also beautiful and cold. That's so interesting, Evgeny. Yeah, I used to be a stripper, right? And there was one stripper, and she was she's got to be the best stripper in the club. Like one time I asked the owner, I'm like, who do you think gives the best lap dances? And I was really hoping he would say me. I'm pretty sure I think I was second best, but he's like, her. And I'm like, there's no arguing with that. I mean, you're right. Like her lap dances were just incredible. And she was an amazing dancer, amazing at the pole. And I was like so obsessed with her as a person and her attitude. She was so fierce. She was also a lesbian. Okay. But she would just like tell off people, anybody who disrespected her. It was just incredible. Okay. And her lap dance, it was like magic watching her move. It was incredible. And she was from Siberia and she had like left everyone. She had like left her parents when she's really young, just had to kind of like make money in New York City. Very cool person. Anyway.
He doesn't have any opinion about like Bitcoin or cryptocurrency.
Oh yeah. Any opinion about Bitcoin? So then Cobra says AED is Arab Emirates Dirham. Oh wow, super cool, Cobra. So Samuel 77 says, how do I tell her I have a foot fetish without coming across weird? Maybe just accept that you're going to come across weird. Okay. I mean, the more she likes you and the more comfortable she is with you and the more other things she likes about you, the more probably open she's going to be like, oh, he has a foot fetish. Okay. It's kind of weird, but okay. So, but I mean, if you just on the first date tell someone you have a foot fetish, please accept. They're probably going to think it's weird. Unless there's some kind of professional sex worker who's like, oh, foot fetish. Yeah. No biggie. I've seen like a million guys with foot fetish. So, yeah. Mark says, if you meet a woman in a regular situation like church, how long should a man leave it before asking her out to avoid getting put in the friend zone?
What?
David, why don't you answer that?
Can he expand upon his reasoning there? You want to wait longer so you don't get put in the friend zone? Is that what he's saying?
How long should a man leave it before asking her out to avoid getting put in the friend zone? Yeah. But this is from church. So do you think David has been to church a lot? Me, as you know, I'm a Satanist. So, yeah, I don't know these church going ways. David, what do you think? If you meet a woman in church, how long should a man leave it before asking her out to avoid getting put in the friend zone?
I reject the premise.
He rejects the premise altogether. Why is that, dude?
I would like communicate my interest in her immediately.
Okay, he would communicate immediately his interest. Like on the first meeting? And how would you do it? Help Mark out. He's had a rough year. Matt, you're cracking me up.
I mean, if he's meeting her in church, he probably has like some traditional ideas and values, and so like invite her out on a traditional date.
Good advice. Good advice, dude. Yeah, Mark, the longer, yeah, it's kind of a myth, I guess, that, oh, she'll be so offended if you ask her out without developing a friendship first, right? Dad, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying you can't go slow. You can develop a friendship first. I don't have a problem with that. But like, if you develop the friendship first, isn't that like how you get into the friend zone?
Yeah. For sure. That's the friend zone for you. That's the definition of the friend zone. Being friends with no dates planned, no sexual chemistry, no interest initiated. So Kevin, I must meet a lot of insane women, lol. Met one a few weeks back on the town square. Caught her eye, smiled at her, and she came and kissed me. As Matt says, Kevin, say less. I doubt it, Kevin. I'll say that. Saran says we don't have to kill food anymore. Absolutely, Saran. I couldn't agree more. You know, why kill something when you could just eat a vegan sandwich? It's wonderful. Kevin says, Matt, I bet you're curious if this works. Well, start with visualization, work on outcome independence, and letting go of all needs. You gotta be kidding me, Kevman. This is ridiculous. Are you trying? What are you selling everyone here, Kevman? Energy of AG Mode says, attention. JMZ says, advice for virgins. My advice.
Go back.
Okay. David wants to say
Go
something.
ahead, finish your.
No, David. No, David, I will not.
All right. Well, to go back to this like friend zone idea,
Okay.
like I was saying, like dick is like in high supply and therefore of low value. Like to a man, like sex is in low supply,
Okay.
therefore in high value, right?
Okay.
And so, but to a woman, especially an attractive woman, like she's got plenty of guys willing to fuck her. That's not at all an issue for her. That's why friends are more valuable to her than boyfriends. She
Mm-hmm.
can get as many boyfriends as she wants. A real friend is rare.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the point is just that it's understandable why she would want to put you in the friend zone.
Yeah, like understand that. I'm not even saying it's understandable. I'm just saying,
Okay.
like, you know, try to put yourself in this person's shoes, and you might, you know, learn something, you might understand her better.
Okay. Good advice. Advice for virgins. My advice is go tomorrow to a legal sex worker and tell her, I'm a virgin. Please give me like your specialist treatment and make it, memorable for me. You don't have to say it like that, but that's kind of the gist. And boom, you're not a virgin anymore. And you just had a fucking amazing experience with a highly trained, highly skilled professional. Okay. And then you don't have to bear this cross like, oh, I'm a virgin. What if I tell women that and they like run away from me screaming? But if you don't want to do that, you don't want to go that route, in my opinion, just do everything correct. Get to the makeout, sitting on the bed in your or her apartment, and right before you have sex, tell her, I have to tell you something. I'm a virgin. And then she'll just be like, oh, okay, that's cool. And you guys will have sex. But I wouldn't just, on the date be like, well, there's something you need to know about me. I'm a virgin. I would just hold off sharing that information until it's hot, heavy, it's steamy, the makeout is happening, she's like super into you, then you can tell her. Do you agree, David?
I don't know.
Okay, he doesn't know. Isaac says, dang, I thought we were learning how to pull girls. You are, Isaac. What's your question? Alex says, you get put in the friend zone because you didn't make a move. Make a move on the first date. 100%, Alex. Phoenix says, I feel like when it comes to any fetish, you should kind of build up to it. Like start off by introducing it little by little during sex and see how she reacts to it. I don't know. It's not terrible advice. I mean, I think it's a good strategy. Could work. You could try that approach for sure, Phoenix. Illidan says, I think food fetish looks normal with peanut butter. I saw it online. So you're saying you like this food fetish? Yeah, okay. That could be interesting. I actually dated a guy. He had like a food fetish. It was interesting. Yeah. He liked to watch women like eating at the same time as having sex or something. Yasin says she is literally the best at giving advice and dating, and it's free. Exactly, Yasin. It's free. Unless you want to super chat me. But yes, it's free. So Adam says, regarding foot fetish, just start by massaging, and thank you for that, Yasin. Adam says, regarding foot fetish, just start by massaging your feet and work your way from there. And also, don't be ashamed about it. Be confident.
That sounds like good advice.
Good advice, Adam. You got the Beardo stamp of approval. Foot fetish advice. Energy. I kind of had a boyfriend who was like, I think he had like a mild foot fetish. And like, he would kind of always bring it up as a joke, and I would like laugh. And then he would be kind of like, no, but I'm kind of serious too. I could never tell if it was a joke or not. But I think he was into it. So Mark says, about the friend zone, I'm asking because I feel like I've left it too long in the past to take my chance, but I'm worried about going the other way and being too forward/intense.
So is he already stuck in the friend zone?
It's possible. Well, David, do you want to comment anymore? Or?
What am I supposed to comment on?
I mean, your thoughts.
I don't even know the situation.
Okay, I'm confused. So
we don't even know if he's in this friend zone or if he just met the woman or what, right?
He needs more information, I guess, Mark.
I'm kind of doing something over here, so.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna have to like recap things for me if you want me to. I can't follow everything that's going on back there.
Okay. So, Mark, I'll just give you my advice and then I'll tell Beardo the recap and he can give you his advice. Okay. So you said, about the friend zone, I'm asking because I feel like I've left it too long in the past to take my chance, but I'm worried about going the other way and being too forward/intense. Well, Mark, I think this is basically like every guy's biggest fear, or at least in the top 3 for sure, which is just the same old fear of jumping over the chasm of creepiness and being too forward/intense, afraid to make a move.
I'm not afraid of that.
Okay. So every guy except you did. That's why I gave it like top 3, dude. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, all right. Well, thanks for sharing that, dude. So I will revise my statement to say it's many guys. One of their biggest fears, okay? Many guys I've seen, that's what they're worried about. It's kind of like the nice guy problem. It's like, well, if I hurt her or make her feel uncomfortable by being too forward and intense, then I'm a terrible person. Okay, Mark? You got to get over that, okay? Because you're going to be stuck forever if you're too afraid of going the other way and being too forward/intense. Remember, first of all, what are you planning to do? Are you planning to ask her on a date? That's not too forward and intense. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? I mean, if you were planning to like push her up against the wall and start making out with her, okay, that might be a little bit of a jump in the church, right? But asking her on a date is extremely expected. It's not too forward. It's not too intense. It's just the right amount of being forward and being intense. So, yeah. Email me, Mark, if you need more insights. We can even do a session on your exact situation. But, yeah, if you want to give David more information about the exact scenario, then maybe he can comment. Cobra 8. Well, first of all, this guy, he says, I think many guys quit dating. Yeah. MGTOW, right? Cobra says, women are the same, church or otherwise. Approach subtly if you know what you want from her or to date her. Also expect her to reject you so you don't get your heart broken. Very good advice, Cobra. Pit Tigalon says, Kevin, watch a woman and he can kiss her. What a man. Oh, don't fall for that, Pit Tigalon, please. James Z says, so be a friend. Kevin says, I don't get it. Catch your eyes, smile, and wait until she comes over. Try it. Though you gotta believe and have your inner bliss. Only $999. Okay. Jamsey says, have no problem making friends with females, but it rarely becomes more. How to give off sexual energy. All right. Well, instead of making it like this mystical thing, about like giving off sexual energy, just do the basic things that other guys are doing to escalate things to more sexual encounters. Okay. It doesn't have to be like this mystical force. Like, are you trying to kiss her? Are you giving her compliments about like her appearance or her personality? Are you sometimes trying to like touch her in socially appropriate ways, like her hand or her shoulder, or even like maybe her waist? Are you trying to maybe like give her a massage sometimes, like a foot massage or a back massage, just another other ways to increase touch? Are you sometimes just like making up excuses to, you know, touch like her wrists, like the old palm reading trick that a lot of guys do, like, oh, let me read your palm. So you just have an excuse to like trace your palm. Or one guy I was talking to, a girl had a scrunchie around her wrist, and he just kind of made an excuse to like touch the scrunchie around her wrist. Things like that can increase the sexual tension. Do you have any comments on that, David?
Yeah, I agree.
He agrees. Any further comments?
I mean, I agree with you that I don't like believe that you're just like, you know, getting in this mindset and women are just like walking up to you and like making out with you.
Mhm.
But nevertheless, like it can help to have a mindset like that.
Okay.
Like sometimes when I'm playing poker, I just kind of like pretend that I can read this other person's mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I can't,
Mm-hmm.
but just the pretending of it kind of like gets me in the right frame to like try and get inside his head,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Or when I'm with you, sometimes I'll just pretend that I can control you with like a hypnotic tone in my voice.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I know that I can't, but at the same time, like me like pretending like I can is effective.
Okay. Good advice. So to exude more sexual energy, what mentality do you think he should adopt?
What's the scenario?
He's always getting like friend zoned, and like he wants to exude more sexual energy.
Okay, yeah, so I already said I agree with you, but always be like forward, always be like oh you're so beautiful, always be like I don't know, is this the church thing still?
No, this is different. This is a different guy.
Yeah, just be like, you know, oh you're so sexy, like, you know, oh I'd love to take you out. You know, it's you know, certain jokes might come up and, you know, you might, you know, like make some sexual innuendo, you know, like you don't want to just like flat out be like, oh, I'd love to take you back to my place and have sex with you and then never call you again. Right.
Right.
But don't be afraid to reveal that you are interested in her sexually.
Mm-hmm.
I think like if anybody's ever watched the show Friends,
Mm-hmm.
this is like, and I'm sure you did this tour, this is like the male, the friend zone guy fantasy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ross spends all first season, the first year of the show, not revealing that he is interested in Rachel,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then like she finds out like because Chandler says something stupid or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and she's just like, you know, oh, can they even hear me? Like,
Can you guys hear Beardo? Just say yes or no if you can.
anyway, and then she's like, oh, I didn't even know he was interested in me. And then she thinks about it for a while, and then she pursues him. She goes to the airport to see him with a bouquet of flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it's a very pleasant fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
but the much more common way to go about it is, you know, the guy lets the woman know that he's interested, And then she like, makes a decision to accept him or reject him.
Yeah. Anonymous citizen, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate it. And he says, compliment clothing and whatnot, be normal. Good advice. Yeah, so any other good things you think you should say to a girl to kind of make her feel like, oh, this guy's into me for real?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
What's the question?
Any other things that, as a guy, you could say to a girl who you're kind of friends with to kind of slowly turn the tides and make her realize, oh my God, this guy's like really into me. Like compliment wise.
I never find myself in that situation.
Okay. Why is that?
Because if a woman is attractive, she knows that I find her attractive.
And why is that? Because you're already saying like compliments to her right from the get-go?
Yeah.
So like what kind of compliment would you say right from the get-go?
Like when you meet a person, you introduce yourself. She says, "Oh, hi, I'm Victoria."
Mhm.
Oh, what a beautiful name,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You just like, I don't know, just right from the beginning, let her know that you're like interested in her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good point, dude. Very good point. That's good advice right there. As Cyber LA said, the man behind the curtain tonight.
Yeah.
It's Beardo. It's like the Wizard of Oz. So let's go back to where we were here. So Yasin says, I actually think the same as your boyfriend. We are many, and girls that just want D are less, so better keep this in mind. Okay. So Cobra says, I disagree, Vic. For many women, that is an instant turnoff. Sex is about communication. Better be honest from the beginning. Unfortunately, Cobra, I forget what you were disagreeing with, so my apologies. You could keep, get me up to speed in the chat, man. Okay. So JG says, what about criticism is so offensive to alpha women and beta males? Every day, all I do is argue with them about pure nonsense when they are totally wrong. So what about criticism is so offensive? JG, I was listening to Dr. Burns' podcast the other day, and I felt like he had a really good take on this. I don't know if you'll find it interesting or good, but he just kind of said, like, why would we expect criticism like to come off well to people? I mean, we've got like millions of years of evolution. Wait, have we been around for millions of years, Dad, or just thousands? Have humans? Whatever.
Probably 70 to 100,000 years.
Okay, 100,000. Let's just say 100.
I mean,
Okay.
Like sapiens, like probably genetically indistinct from how we are today.
Okay, so let's just say we got 100,000 years of evolution that's kind of like affecting us at a deep level. And guess what? We didn't just evolve to be like good, kind. We evolved to just kind of like react, defensively and reactively to anyone who, what we perceive as like an attack. Probably, way back in the day, it was probably like more advantageous for us to just like react in an evil, reactive manner to anyone who was like giving us like a mild attack or critique than it was to just be like, you know what, that's a fabulous point. I really see where you're coming from. I totally understand. So it's like we've got that working against us, and we kind of like expect ourselves to be so highly evolved for good, but we also evolved like for bad. I didn't explain it so well, but hopefully you get my meaning. But yeah, we kind of have to expect that people are going to respond badly to criticism, and unless you approach them in almost like an over the top disarming way, they're not going to be open to hearing what you have to say often, which sucks, because it'd be nice if you could just like truth bomb everyone and have them be like, you know what, I get it, but I don't know, JG, what do you think? Doom says, in the cold mountains of Siberia, a blizzard, villagers escaped the mountain, leaving Victoria with her sprained ankle. Tiger hunter David was notified, carried her down the whole mountain. Oh, wow. He's painting a whole movie for us tonight. Beardo. AH says, have a giving mentality rather than a taking mentality. You know what? That's probably like pure gold advice right there for like everything in life, isn't it? JG says, why don't they just apologize, change, and move on? Why are they so defensive and deny responsibility at all costs? I know the frustration, JG. And you know, some of them might be almost like by nature unable to. Like, I always recommend this book, The 5 People Who Can Ruin Your Life. But last night on TikTok, I was on a live and it was like, ask a sociopath anything. So I was asking her some questions, and like she was kind of annoying me even on like the short time I was on the live, because I was just saying like, you know, do you ever like feel bad about anything? She was like, no, I don't. Like sociopaths don't have guilt. Like we don't feel bad and stuff. So some people, they're just born like that, you know? They're born unable to take responsibility for anything. And they're kind of like doomed to never take responsibility. And of course, like some people are like super defensive, and then at the very end, like they can take responsibility. But some people just live their whole lives unable to take responsibility, like narcissists or whatever. So, yeah. How's everything going, JG, with your life situation? NRG says, I'm away from home for a myriad of reasons, but the woman that's there now texts me more. When I'm there, she's a total biatch. Attention is the currency, whether dating them or not. I'm a little confused by that one, NRG. Alex says, when you're talking with her, tap her with the back of your hand as your hands are moving. If she rejects your touch, she doesn't like you. Well, Alex, that first sentence, I think it's okay. But the second part, if she rejects your touch, she doesn't like you. I don't agree with that. For example, on me and Beardo's first date, he tried to do some touch. I rejected his touch, but I just wasn't ready for that. I didn't feel it was like the right time on the runway. So it doesn't mean she doesn't like you. I wouldn't, you know, jump to that conclusion. So yes, Cyber LA, that's a great comment. Mark says, thanks. Just to confirm, it is a hypothetical question. Just saying I screwed it up in the past and never really cracked it because I met my ex-wife online, which was much easier for me, less awkward. I see, Mark. Alan says, I'm Mr. Spock from 4 feet away, invade my personal space and I melt. Make Way says, what's Beardo's bench? He doesn't bench. Michael J says, I think I've been friend zoned in my marriage. Uh-oh, Michael. What's happening there? Dead bedroom, perhaps? Ratty says, who's the man behind the curtain? That's Beardo. Cobra E8 says, sexual energy equals posture, confidence, know her mind, and use words that turn her on. Be patient about it. Might not happen day one. Start with her mind, and the body follows. Solid advice. Illidan says, Friends is a good show to get out of the friend zone. Is it, David?
Well, I mean, Joey does kind of give good advice to Ross about that stuff.
Okay. Ratty says the problem is that women base 90% on looks. I mean, I don't know if it's 90% Ratty, but I agree with you. Like in the concept that, you know, if you look better, you'll have so many more. You'll have it easier. You'll have more opportunities. They will give you more chances. The halo effect will be working in your favor. So I know what you're saying. And yes, I advise everyone to look smacks who is dating and who needs to. Alex says, also, if a woman looks for you or talks about you, she likes you like in a group of friends or a coworkers group. Not necessarily, but I do think it's a good guess for sure. Like it's a good possibility that she would. I agree. That's something that a woman who does like you will be doing for sure.
Ask this guy why he thinks it's important to say or believe that for women it's 90% about looks.
All right, Ratty the Truth. David has challenged you, and he wants to know, why do you believe it's important?
You know, why is it important to him? Like what?
Okay.
He believes in it strongly.
Okay.
He's like mentioning it in the chat.
Yeah.
Why is this idea so important to him?
Like maybe he'll say like, because it's hopeless for me or something. And what would you say to that?
Well, that's my concern.
Okay.
Is that he feels like his looks aren't good.
Okay.
And therefore, since women only are interested 90% in looks, then he has no chance.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's a bad attitude. First of all, it's not even true. But even if it were true, that's not what's important. Okay? Like if your looks are bad and women only care about 90% looks, well, then you better like maximize the 10% that you do have going.
Good point, dude. So what do you think his attitude should be instead?
Find women who like his good qualities.
Solid advice, bro. I like that. Ready? What do you have to say about that? What are your thoughts? What are your comments? So Medical Monitor says, why someone plays hot and cold? Well, it's one of the oldest strategies in the book, and it works. Medical Monitor. Patrick G says, where is a good place to find singles? It seems like everyone is settling with the first person they meet in this area. You know what? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. That old book has a truly excellent list answering that question. Like it's one of the chapters at the end of the book, and it's like kind of brilliant. I'm like, damn, he covered like every single place to find singles. So I don't know, if you have a library, I would check out that book. And it's one of the last chapters in the book. It might even be like the last chapter, but I was like extremely impressed with his list. So I would check that out, Patrick G. So the Doom says, yes, we hear all right. His voice with the low notes is blowing the fuck out of the base of my sound system. Big glass desk kind of vibrates, no cap. What the? David, did you hear that?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Doodle Bob says, treat them like dirt, they stick like mud. Is that true?
There are some women for whom that is probably true. But is that the kind of woman you want to be with?
Good advice, Dad. I think it is, well, I like your answer, David. That was good. Very good. So why wouldn't a guy want to be with a woman like that? Because it's like she's got such low self-esteem, or what do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, like, I hear a lot of like these crazy, this crazy advice and like pickup lines and games to play and all this kind of stuff. And then like, what you gotta understand is women are crazy. Like, well, the women who are responding to this bullshit are crazy maybe. Like, I'm trying to connect with somebody who I have an interest in, talking to and spending time with.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think there's a lot of truth to this sad statement. Treat them like dirt, they stick like mud. I think people like get into what they now call a fawn response, FAWN, They start kind of trying to like be pleasing, be unobtrusive, and they start kind of like clinging. It's sad. It's sad. But yeah, hopefully you won't resort to that. But if you want to kind of capture that experience in a positive, consensual way, you can get into BDSM in the bedroom. You can get into degradation. You can get into your consensual, abusive boyfriend role play, and she can safely, sanely, and consensually experience the sick, dark, twisted thrill of treat them like dirt and they stick like mud in a healthy, consensual way. But some people don't stick to the safe route. They just get into like an actually abusive relationship, sadly. I'm not saying that's their fault. Obviously, it's the abuser's fault. Last Man says, thoughts on Kevin Samuels? I need to watch some more videos. I hear about him all the time, but I've only seen very small clips because I think the first time I tried to watch him, I'm just like, I can't take this. But have developed a much thicker skin. So Santana says, the Wizard of Sex. Anonymous Citizen says, and don't be creepy. A female, no matter how hot, who approaches me and immediately goes there, crazy vibes. I mean, okay. You guys, that's like so many of your dreams, but then the moment that a woman does approach you and is wanting to have sex with you, she's crazy? I don't know. Cobra says, about telling her being a virgin while making out, that is a turn off. That's what I disagreed with. So how would you do it, Cobra? Because I disagree. I mean, you think you should just never tell her? Honestly, I think it would be like if I was like really turned on and about to have sex and the guy said he's a virgin, I'd be like, oh, it's pretty interesting.
How old
I'm
is
into
this
it.
virgin?
Yeah, how old is this virgin? David wants to know. If I was turned on, I would find de-virginizing someone appealing. I'll say that. But I know not everyone. But make sure she's actually turned on. Make sure it's like right before you actually would have had sex. Alan Master says, is it worth getting married? I mean, I'm not exactly sure how to answer that because it really depends who you're marrying and if she like demands to get married and if you want to get married. I don't know. It's a complicated question. What do you think, David? I mean, if you get married, I would definitely get a prenup. That's probably the most important thing. Alan Vestal says, if you love someone in the living room, the bedroom will work out. Fortunately, I disagree. I have not found that to be true. I don't think it's true. What do you guys think? Alan, obviously you think it's true, but what What else do you guys think? Angel says, will this video be saved to watch later? Probably, Angel. Michael J says, bedroom friend zone to be specific. Not sure how to approach the issue. Any advice is appreciated. Well, Michael J, have you read the book? There's a new book by Vanessa and Xander. Okay, and it's really good. And it's called Sex Talks. It's something like the 5 conversations that will reignite your love life, something like that. Sex Talks. Here it is. The 5 conversations that will transform your love life. This is a very good book because it talks about how to basically approach the subject of, hey, I want us to like have a mutually fulfilling sex life for the both of us. Like, can we talk about this? Can we work on this? I'm pretty sure that's the first sex talk. And then it kind of goes on from there. And it's just really great basic sex education advice. It's really good. I've read a lot of these kinds of books, and this is definitely the best one that I've read so far. So I would recommend that book. Sex Talks by Vanessa and Xander. Also, I mean, if she's willing to go to sex therapy, that could be really good. But I don't know if she's open to it, Michael. Is she? Alex says, looks make a person intrigued in you. Isn't that the truth, Alex? Johanna says, why some married women have side guy? Why some married men have side woman? So Kevin says, if you believe looks are important, take a look at any Johnny Saporno video. I've met him and seen him pull the woman R10s. Looks-wise, he's the best of 5, balding fat guy. Well, I don't think that proves that looks are not important. That just proves that Johnny Saporno is kind of like a outlier with great skills, and hopefully you can be like him, but that doesn't mean that looks are not important. But yeah, I agree that you should try to be like this Johnny Saporno and work on your conversational skills and pickup skills as well as just your looks. But you think if Johnny Saporno looked like, Henry Cavill, things wouldn't be like super easy for him? I'm sure he'd have a much easier time.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill, yeah.
The fuck?
Henry Cavill, yeah. I saw an interview with Henry Cavill the other day, and someone was asking him, what do you do for exercise? And he said, sex. Because that's how many women are just want to have sex with him. I mean, are you surprised?
So now you like Henry Cavill?
I mean, he's not. I mean, he's just good looking, but I prefer your look, David. So,
we're gonna have to talk about this later.
he loves Henry Cavill. He's like a Henry Cavill fan, right, dude?
Not anymore.
So, Alex says, I've known guys that aren't that attractive but are fun, make jokes, make everyone feel good and inviting, and they're the center of attention, smart, and they're very likable. Yes, Alex, I agree with you. And I agree you guys should all strive to work on your game, your personality, your basic understanding of women, your understanding of the female gaze, your dating etiquette, your sexual skills. But why not also work on trying to inch up your looks on the scale, because that could have an outsized impact in this shallow world. So Patrick G says, I just looked up the book. Thanks, Patrick. I really hope it helps. She also has Vanessa and Xander, they have a really good Instagram account as well. It's pretty fun. She's a sex therapist. Brady, the truth is, I think the halo effect takes precedent a lot more than people give credit for. Brad Pitt could do/say the same thing as me, average guy, and it would elicit a different effect on women. It's not a self-pity thing, the 90% thing. I think it's productive to accept reality and then do what you can from there to improve. I agree with you, Ratty, the truth. And it seems like you don't have this kind of hopeless mentality underlying it, which I think Beardo was kind of wondering if you did. So, I don't know. Your understanding of the reality of the situation seems pretty solid to me. So, are you doing any looks maxing things to improve? But I think what Beardo says is also important. Don't underestimate that 10%. I agree with you that you're probably going to get the most bang for your buck by working on the looks, okay? Because it's harder to master that 10%. I mean, I thought it was easy when I started this channel, but there's a lot to it. There's a lot to understanding women. There's a lot to understanding basic etiquette. Some of it's pretty simple, okay? But most men don't have this intuitive understanding of women. I mean, far from it. It's difficult for them to kind of like research the topic and really get like a in-depth understanding, because they've got so many, it's like so many blind spots. It's like so many things seem obvious and they're not. It's like, why wouldn't women think like dick size is super important? But it's not. It's like there's many different little things that can kind of trip you up that you have to learn and understand how women think about it differently. But, you know, working on your looks and improving your looks is very straightforward. So it's kind of like a nice, easy place to start that has a huge outsized effect. So, yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying, Ratty the truth. So, Steve asks, he says, I just came back for a minute to say that Victoria is still beautiful. Okay, I'm out. Ciao. Thank you, Steve S. Thought I might get a reaction out of Beardo for that one. Oh, God. Doom says, Lady Vic, please rate context coming up. All right, I didn't see that. I'm not sure what that's referring to Doom. So Nestor says, what did you think of Robert Greene's The Art of Seduction? It's a great book. It's a fantastic book. I think David's going to get mad at me for saying that because he wanted to listen to the 48 Laws of Power with me in the car. And I didn't want to continue listening to it, but The Art of Seduction is a great book. Did you read it and did you like it, Nestor? I'm a big Robert Greene fan. Alan says, I once had a girlfriend. We never had sex. When we tried, we found each other so interesting. We could not stop talking to each other long enough. And she was your girlfriend, Alan? I don't know, Alan. I mean, who am I to judge, all right? If that worked for both of you, then it worked. But maybe ask yourself, was there anything that was like making you hesitate in turning it sexual? Be honest. Nestor Toledo says it's looks plus money plus status plus game. I don't agree that's just like this universal formula. I agree that each of those things is powerful in its own right, okay, and attractive to women in its own right, but it's not like you add up your percentage for looks, you add up your percentage for money, you add up your percentage for status, and you add up percentage for game. And because, you know, for some people, what if the woman's like really rich and money isn't important to her? Would money factor into her equation? You know what I'm saying? So there's different things, but I mean, it sounds good. I mean, those are all powerful things, right? Adam says, another guy men should look up if they think looks are really important is David X. All right, Adam. Alexa, Stop. Yes, it heard me. No, it didn't. Darn it. Dude, can you do it?
Alexa, stop the alarm.
Didn't. I guess it's too like. So.
Alexa, stop that alarm.
Okay. Freedom Fox 1. Oh, wait. Agent 2 says, I always struggle with
No.
asking women if they want to have sex. How does one initiate without knowing the person too much? My mental roadblock and shame is too much at times. So you don't need to ask if a person wants to have sex. What you do is you simply imply, and basically by when you're on a date, you might make out outside of the bar. Then you kind of like make up some excuse to like go back to your apartment. Like, do you want to, we could go somewhere else. We could go back to my place. We could like watch the show I was telling you about. I could show you that thing I was mentioning. I could go back and like change. Then we could like go out from there again. So you get back to your place. Maybe she like sits down while she's waiting for you on the couch, right? Then you sit down on the couch. You initiate the makeout again. The makeout gets more hot and steamy because you're in a place where people aren't, watching on the street. You can like go to the bedroom. You can start making out on the bed. And then once it gets like really hot and steamy, you could like take off her shirt. And if she like stops you and is like, no, I don't want to, that's her saying, no, I'm not ready for that. And maybe you could go back to just kissing. But if she might really say like, no, I don't want to have sex. But you can just kind of like progress things for there. And then right before you have sex, you could maybe say something. But by that time, she's already like super hot and horny and into it. So you don't have to have like this formal conversation like, you're still at the bar on the date. So are you planning to enjoy sex tonight with me or somebody else? Yes, I am. I shaved my legs just for this. Like it's never going to work like that. Do you know what I'm saying? It just happens with the chemistry building, with the makeout building. Do you know what I'm saying?
So you backed off the idea of enthusiastic verbal consent?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like right before you actually have sex, when she's turned on, you could get consent. Okay. I think that's probably smart. You don't want to just stick it in, although that's what people do. But, if you don't want to have like regrets, like, oh, I wasn't ready for that, I wasn't comfortable with that, I think it would be smart to ask. People don't do that, but then people feel like used and uncomfortable. So, yeah. So, what do you think about that, Agent 2? Freedom Fox 1 says, YouTube never tells me about these lives until they're 1 to 2 hours in. Well, David, would you agree with what I just said?
I don't think you have to ask with words.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to, but
it depends like on who you're with, right? Like if she is going to insist that you ask with words, that's okay. That's her right.
Yeah.
I think it's a turnoff for a lot of women.
Yeah. Well, I said just like right before you're actually going to do it, like, why not? I mean, that's only going to be a blip on the radar. If she's really turned on, she's not going to be like, get the fuck out of here. You asked my consent.
No, I agree. There's also probably creative ways you can do it.
Like in dirty talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Like, do you want me to stick it in you? Are you...
Your dirty talk from the male side needs some work, Tor.
Dude, you've said like that exact same thing to me. Okay, what would you say? What? Okay. I mean, obviously you don't have to say it in that tone of voice, but that's literally what people say. What's your better one, dude? Give it to me. I'm waiting.
I'm playing poker here.
What a cop out. So Freedom Fox 1 says, YouTube never tells me about these lives until they're 1 to 2 hours in. I apologize for that, Freedom Fox 1. What's up with that? Alien Traveler says, out of 100%, including only looks and personality, how much do each make up percent-wise? Well, Alien Traveler, I think it's going to be different for different people. Okay, like how different, I'm not sure, but certain people are going to be highly lookist, and certain people are going to be highly personalityist. Like, for example, me, I think I was more personalityist the most, like kind of like confidence, that dom energy, not being phased by me, kind of like exuding masculinities. These things were like really important to me. Then my friend who would always go out clubbing with, looks, like looking like a male model, was like really important to her. And I would always look at the guys she liked and I'd be like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like why would you fucking try to talk to that guy? Like, he's very, he's not exuding any kind of like confidence or personality. He just kind of looks like somewhat like effeminate but beautiful. But that was like really important to her. So I don't know, maybe someone could like some kind of scientist could like do a better job answering that than me, but there is going to be some variability for sure. Matt Garner says, why do women pay attention once they get in shape? That's the black pill for you, Matt Garner. Why do men pay attention once like women lose a lot of weight and start looking like a, OnlyFans influencer? Why do men pay attention once women get a boob job? Why do men pay attention once women get like a BBL? Why do men pay attention once women get plastic surgery? Because we're very shallow, and beauty is very powerful, like subconsciously. We cannot avoid that. Okay? Why, like on TikTok, does a woman who's like very attractive, she just like stands there and she gets like 1 million views? I mean, and your question is, why do women pay attention once I get in shape? Once you're, looking very attractive, that plays on them psychologically.
She bounces up and down a little bit.
Yeah. What? Okay. David added one. What? So why does men pay more attention if a woman bounces up and down? Thank you for that. I'm having like Dr. Phil's face in my mind. Thank you for that. Yeah, but I mean, come on, Matt. Like, you're basically asking, why do women pay more attention to me once I start looking like a lot hotter? Why do men pay more attention to women when they start looking a lot hotter? I'm sure you know the answer to that, huh? Masked Man says, do you think dating has gotten harder for men? That's a good question, Masked Man. I mean, I know what people say about like, oh, well, online dating has made it harder because now women are picking from like everyone in the world instead of just everyone in their small town or whatever. I don't know, because I feel like it probably was always hard. But was it harder is it harder now than it was in the past? What do you think, David?
Depends a lot on like your preferences. Obviously, it's a subjective question, right? But
Okay.
it used to be easier to like, ask a father for the hand in marriage,
Okay.
and get married. But I mean, it's never been easier to have casual sex in my lifetime.
Why is that? Online dating apps?
I don't know, a lot of reasons, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, like a million reasons.
Okay, so Freedom Fox One says, so true, Victoria. Any guy can get at least get muscular. If I can do it, anyone can. Oh, very cool, Freedom Fox One. You've been hitting the gym. Impressive. JG says, I just sent you $60 for a session on PayPal because after listening to your analysis of my question, you accurately identify the core issue. Oh my God, JG, that's incredible. I was thinking, oh, there's no way this is going to have any impact on JG, but can you do a quick session after this live anytime? I'm so sorry, JG, because it's going to be around after midnight here. So I'm going to be like, I'm already like drained. So can we plan for the near future? See my Calendly link if there's any times, but since it'll be after midnight, I feel like I'm not going to be at my best at all. I'm already like, let me know, JG. And can't wait to talk to you, JG. Thank you for that. Nani super chatted me. Oh, Nani, thank you so much. He said, for the longest, I always looked at myself as a guy that won't hurt a bug. But over the years, I get comments like, you look like you can fuck someone up. Very interesting, Nani. Yes, it seems like for you, it has been kind of like an evolution of kind of seeing yourself differently. Because, like, I guess you kind of had this almost like, no, that's not me. I'm kind of soft. I wouldn't even hurt a bug, which I love, kind to insects. But over the years, people have kind of told you, it seems like, you know what, Nani, like your perception of yourself doesn't actually match how other people perceive you. And I'm guessing, the more you kind of got into like fighting and stuff, probably helps them as well. But that's interesting, Nani, because seemed like, you initially had this feeling of like, that's not me. I'm not that guy. But then people are telling me, bro, you are that guy. And it's been like a while accepting it. That reminds me actually of my favorite quote of all time, which I'm always forgetting and I can never find it. But I'll tell you, this is my favorite quote of all time, okay? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Because I think it would be good for all of you guys. Damn it, I can never find this quote when I want it. I can never find this, but the gist of the quote is, it's a famous piano player, okay? I forget if it's like Arthur Rubinstein or Vladimir Horowitz or whatever, and they're like these master piano players. I forget which one it was, but he had students, and he said, I loved best my students who struggled and raged against their fate, basically saying all the time, I'm not good enough, and there's no way I can ever be a good piano player, because when they finally surrendered to their greatness, and then this is the part I wish I had the actual quote for, but it was something like, they were like terrified by like the beauty of what they saw. This is why I need the actual quote. It's a lot better than that, guys. But I just always like that concept because it's kind of like, oh, the people who are like shy and resistant and were kind of like insecure and unconfident, when they finally like surrender to their greatness, they kind of see the true power that was always there. Probably just a resonant quote for anyone who's kind of felt very insecure in life, shy, like they can't do it. So I always like that quote. Anyway. Santana says, 48 Laws of Power is a tough read. A lot of historical stories that are hard to relate to in modern times, but the laws are definitely interesting. Okay, Santana. Yes, when I'm re-listening to 48 Laws, I'm like, damn, this is good. But I'm like kind of distracted. But when I first read it, I thought it was like I flew through it. So I like your, interesting thoughts on it. So the experimenter says, what's an ideal promposal? My prom is coming up, and I want to make a nice thing to ask this girl who I think is showing. Uh-oh. I missed it. Where is it? Damn it. Oh, here it is. Who I think is showing signs of interest. I was planning on making a cool animation with nice music. I think that sounds cool. The experimenter. I mean, I think girls like anything that shows like you put some real special thought into it. Well, I'm not saying that's necessarily going to get her to accept you, but if she already likes you, they definitely enjoy that kind of prompt. Well, I like this idea, making a cool animation with nice music. I mean, I think any girl would be like into that one, so I like it. But anyway, if you guys have any other good ideas for promposals, let the experimenter know. I like that you're going for it, the experimenter. So Nestor says, insinuate and escalate. Sounds good. Illidan Stormer says, Alexa's name of one of my club staff, but she's new, so I can't know if she has feelings for me. Well, have you talked to her yet, Illidan? Crazy Tower One says, you have to find a way to initiate touch and not be creepy and escalate as much as she allows. Yes, I agree. And the way to initiate touch is, touching those non-erogenous zones, right? Think of this is what I wanted to draw. I wanted to draw you guys like a heat map. All right, I'm gonna draw you a picture right now, okay? I was kind of trying to explain this to Beardo the other day. All right. Yes, Homath is not the only one who likes to draw. So here's a woman, okay? And yes, there's going to be 2 circles and a triangle. And there's going to be a half circle, which I've added. All right. Now, here's a woman, right? 2 circles and a triangle and a half circle. Now, where do you touch first?
Circles.
Beardo says you go right in and make a beeline for the circles. Oh, and I have to add the other circles. Okay. Is this correct? Pop quiz. All right, we're having an impromptu pop quiz, everybody. So get your, where on the body do you touch first? Is it the circles?
You establish your dominance by honking her breasts.
Beardo says you establish your dominance by honking her circles. What do you guys say? You got 5 seconds to get your questions in. Do you touch here? Do you touch here? Do you touch here?
It's very important that you say honk, honk out loud when you do it.
And he says you say honk, honk, and you grab right here. So what do you guys think? So get your answers in. We've only got one. Pulse Reload says triangle knuckle deep. Alien Traveler says you touch on the big 2 eyes. That's the circles. Patrick G says handshake if you just met her. Going against the grain. Alan Vestal says kiss her on the neck. Alan Traveler says you say milady.
Oh, tip your hat.
Tip your fedora and say milady. Cobra says you never touch her body. Always start with her mind. So Cobra's saying touch her mind first. Freedom Fox One says ask for consent to sniff her hair. Okay.
I like that.
What the? Adam says you touch the back of the knee first. Highly erotic. JG says light hand touch while looking in her eyes and complimenting her. Pulse Reloaded. Trump says grab him by the pussy. Yeah. So do you do what Trump said and just that's the first place you touch? Nestor says wrists, elbow first. Mark says should definitely listen to Trump's advice, crying, laughing. Crazy Tower One says test waters by brushing hand, then trying to be in close proximity so your arms rub each other and eventually touch the thigh. Doodle Bob says kissing the ears. Stoic says depends on the situation though. Donnie DiCaprio says first wonder, does the carpet match the drapes? Yeah, and would you wonder that out loud, Donnie DiCaprio? I mean, seems like Beardo over here would. Alan says skin that does not get touched often is more sensitive to touch. The experiment says we're escalating. We would start simple. I would start with some light hand touches. Illidan says, hug her and press your chest against hers, and after letting go, near miss her hand with yours. Michael J says, move her hand behind your ears. Try to whisper something under your ear. Pulse reload, check her muffler with your thumb and say, I'm not washing this digit ever again. All right, guys, great answers, all right? Now it's time for the big reveal, okay? Which one of you guys are bound to failure and which one of you guys are going to take the long road to get to your desired circles and triangle? And of course, the smile, okay, as opposed to the upside down half circle. All right, guys, so the first step, if we're going 1 to 10, okay, 1 being the things you touch in the beginning, 10 being the things you touch when you're having sex. Here's where I want you guys to touch first, okay? Well, you can touch the hands, okay? You can touch, I need to put that down. You could touch maybe like the waist. You could touch the back of the shoulder. You could touch the small of the back. Okay, let's say like you're guiding her somewhere. All right. You could touch maybe like her elbow. Okay. So these are all the ones. All right. Do not pass go. Do not proceed right to the circles or the triangle or anywhere remotely near that.
What do you think about hugs instead of handshakes?
Hugs, yeah, I agree. Hugs are better than handshakes. Okay, hugs are just a little more intimate than a handshake. A handshake is very formal. Handshake is for business. Handshake is for the office. Hugs is for dates. Okay, so that's all. That's where you're going to go on step 1.
I mean, when you first meet somebody, I think like you and I are in agreement, but
Okay.
When you first meet somebody, like if it's a woman and like you have a reasonable expectation that she's like, you know, single or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're like in a handshake situation, you can actually like literally kiss the back of her hand.
Okay. Milady. It sounds very milady, but
Well,
it's not bad.
don't make it all corny.
Okay. All right. So now for step 2.
I'm just saying it like goes along with my whole idea of like let the woman know right away that like you're interested in her, you know, sexually.
Yeah. Good point, Dad. Now, for step 2, okay? So I'm going to color in all the places that were step 1, all right? And I'm going to put 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and there's ones in the back, okay? So I wrote ones, right? Now, let's go to level 2. It's getting a little more intimate, all right? So let's say somebody said like the maybe touching her hair, okay? We'll give that a 2. Maybe touching like her thigh, kind of like lightly, like, ha ha ha, you're so funny, and you touch her thigh, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll give that a 2. Maybe touching like her wrist or something. We'll give that a 2. Maybe giving her a neck massage, kind of like, oh, you seem tense. Let me give you a neck massage. We'll give that a 2. Maybe even like where else could you touch for like kind of like a next level up?
This is good stuff, Tori.
Okay.
Video.
Maybe like if she has something in her hair, you kind of like pick it out of her hair. If she has like some lint on her shirt.
What about brushing her hair behind her ear?
Yeah, I already put that as a 2. Let's say she has some lint on like the top of her shirt. You could pick that off. All right. So those are all 2s. Okay. Now let's go to 3. Okay. 3. Well, obviously, like you might start kissing, right? 3. We'll give 3. That's when you can kiss her mouth. You could kiss her neck, maybe. You can run your hands along like the tops of like her arms. You can run your hands along her waist. That's a 3. You could like grab kind of like her upper thigh. Okay, that's a 3. Those are 3s, right? You can definitely kind of like maybe like hold the back of her hair. That's a 3. All right. So, things are getting a little hot and heavy. You know what I'm saying? Notice how you still have not touched the circles or the triangle. Okay. Maybe with 3, just maybe, you can graze the outside only, in my opinion, of the breast. Okay, notice how you're not going straight to the circle, right? You're just kind of like running like here a little bit. Okay, you're not just gonna go straight in for the grope. Okay, this is, so you can see you're kind of just running your hands maybe along the shape of her body. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, notice how I made this line here where you're kind of, running it along. So your hands are kind of going, right? Maybe you can go a little like on her butt and like do kind of like a butt squeeze. All right, we'll give that 3. Guys, now it's getting pretty hot and heavy. All right. You've already done the makeout. Now it's time for more sexual stuff. All right. Do you go straight to the circles and the triangle? I said it's more time for sexual stuff. What do you guys think? Pop quiz, get your answers below, yes or no.
It's time for you to expose little Shakespeare at this point.
Is it time for you to expose little Shakespeare? Actually, that's what somebody else, Nunya, is saying. Grab her hand, put it on my joint. Is it time for you to do that? Yes or no? Crazy Taro says body language is huge. I suck at conversing. Pulse Reload says touch tongue the triangle. Nunya says slide them draws off.
Grab the back of her head and pull it into your lap.
Exactly. Should you do that? Michael J says no. We've got one sane man among you all. Okay. Very good, Michael J. No. All right. So here's what you want to do next. All right. Now you've done the makeout. Hopefully you've got her like over to the bed. Okay. So here's what you want to do next. And it's not what you think, guys. So for 4, you want to start touching things like the legs. Yup. But maybe like the more sensitive parts of the legs, like the inner thighs. Okay. Maybe you want to start touching like the calves. Okay. No, these are not the parts you necessarily want to touch, but these are the parts women want you to touch. They want you to make love to their whole freaking body. Okay. You could touch the outside area of their stomach. Okay. You could touch the inside area of their arms.
I think we already missed this one.
Okay.
But like underneath the back of her bra strap is a nice one. That might be like
Yep.
a 3.
Good one. Yeah, underneath the back of her bra.
Bras are uncomfortable.
That's true. Underneath just like the underwire of her bra, if she's wearing a bra, that could be a 4 too. Okay, so you see, you're touching, you think like, oh yeah, we got to get to the circles and the triangle now. You don't. You go back to the intimate, but non-erogenous, less erogenous parts of the body, but they actually are kind of erogenous because no one ever touches them. Like, yes, it's socially acceptable to touch the elbow. It's socially acceptable to touch the hand, but does anyone ever touch like the inside of your wrist? Does anyone ever like lightly caress that? Does anyone ever touch like the inside of your elbow? Does anyone ever touch like, kiss like the back of your neck? Does anyone ever run their hands over like the outside of your stomach? These are all very intimate, vulnerable areas that people never touch. And so it's increasing intimacy, it's increasing intensity, but it's not the obvious of honk, I got the circles. Yes, everything's going according to plan. I am touching circles.
One of your favorite things to this day, and this fits into like the stage you're at right now,
Yeah.
is I just run the pads in my fingers, right? My 4 pads on my fingers. Like
Yeah.
Just gently touch that on your skin.
Yeah.
And just like move that slowly, like as slow as I can, which still isn't slow enough probably.
Yeah.
But I just run the pads on my fingers over your skin non-erogenous zone.
Exactly. It's very relaxing and it sets the stage for the runway that's about. This is like if a pilot is working, it's like you're setting everything up to take off. So you got to kind of relax her first and satisfy her need to be like caressed and loved over her whole body. You can kiss these areas, you can gently, lightly caress these areas. Okay. But this is kind of just where to touch. Okay. So it's those non-essential parts. All right. Next, level 5. You've already started touching that. You know what? You're going to go one step closer to the erogenous areas. All right. So things like maybe like the middle of her stomach. Okay. That's more sensitive. Now you're going to go right under her breast. Okay. You're not going to touch the breast yet, but you're just going to get very close. Right underneath, okay? Right on the outside and just slightly more towards the inside, okay? Maybe you're going to come up here, kind of like on the collarbone, slightly down. You don't touch the 2 circles, but you are getting a little bit closer. Okay, in step 5, you're still leaving them alone, okay? They're not ready to be touched yet. Oh, KMD Lopper, he super chatted me and he said, best Riz coach, NA. Thank you so much, KMD. I'm glad you're liking this. And you know what? As Vanessa and Zan, and I really appreciate your super chat, KMD. Nunya says, don't touch the nips. I agree. You know what? The least appreciated form of initiation is by all women, and this is what sex therapists say, the boob honk. Guys make the exact mistake that I'm trying to teach you about, where they think like, oh, she wants to have sex. She will love if I just go right in, squeeze her breast. She will want to have sex with me right now. She will get so wet. She won't.
Tune in Tokyo.
Tune in Tokyo. She will not like it. So notice we're already at level 5 and you still have not started tuning in Tokyo. Okay? So level 5, you're going to get much closer by the triangle. Okay? You're going to be like brushing the area. You're going to be going over the tops of clothes. Okay? On the triangle maybe. And if she's still wearing a bra, you might go over the clothes, but don't stick your hand up under yet and start trying to squeeze. Okay? So you see that it's like, picture like the breast is like a fiery volcano and the nipple is like liquid hot magma. Okay? You don't touch that yet. You don't. Now, level 6, all right? There's going to be concentric circles here on the breast. So we're going to have to do a new diagram for that. Okay. Damn it. I need some more paper. Well, I'll just have to use this. These are 2 breasts, okay? Now we're already at level 6, right? Now picture it like this. Okay. It's like one of those heat maps, like the topography maps. All right. See how there's like concentric circles? So it's like 6, level 7, level 8, level 9, and the nipple is level 10. Okay? Because when you go this slow and you're touching here, and then 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 finally, when she's like super turned on, then you touch the nipple, that's what feels the best for her. Okay? So think of this topography map. You don't go ding. You don't go boom. I'm jumping in the liquid hot magma pile. You go slowly working up to it, like, and when she gets like more and more turned on, you can move to the next level. Okay. KMD says they look like grilled onions. LMAO. I guess they do, but that's how you got to think about it. All right. So. And then for the same thing with the triangle, all right, you got to like, well, you don't have to, but I'll tell you, it's better when she's like wanting it so bad. And then you put your fingers in, not just like at level 2, you're like, jam, 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 jam. Oh, I saw this in porn. This is supposed to make women squirt. Let me just like jam my fingers in. And she's not even fully like engorged, as they say, ready, wet. You know what I'm saying? So remember that, guys. All right.
Also, vaginal penetration is overrated by men. It's not that great for women. Clitoral stimulation, much better.
Oh, yeah. And that's the other thing, guys. I forgot to mention the be all and end all. Great point, dude. You reminded me. You think it's the triangle, right? And you think it's here, right? You think that's where all the good stuff happens, right in there. Well, guys, it's actually, I'm going to make a big circle because that's, I mean, okay, this isn't drawn perfectly, but let's just say that's the top. The top is where the clit is going to be, okay? Obviously not the top of the underwear, but I kind of didn't draw that perfectly, but it's at the top. The clit. When you touch the clit, all of a sudden, she cannot help but get turned on. And different girls have different ways that they like to touch. Maybe they like, the tongue, oral, maybe like light, maybe like it off to the side, maybe they like direct. But that's where all the nerves are. That's the female penis. Okay? So that's where, if you touch that, she cannot help but start feeling, I am very fucking turned on and I would like to have an orgasm right away. Okay? But this is all the warm up, the preheating the oven that will allow her this to feel, this to feel the best. Okay? So, yeah. Any questions about the topographical map? So, let's see. Pulse Reload says, oh God. Crazy Taro says, you're right. Holy smokes. Crazy Taro, did you have a mind-opening revelation? Or what is that about? Crazy Taro says, smoking marijuana helps a lot with the sensual side of sex. All these things you're describing, we lets you tap into that during sex. Well, I have had an experience or two with that, and I agree. I found it very good, but you don't need weed to do that. You should be able to do it without weed, but if it helps you and you want to, like, I'm not going to stop you or anything. But yeah, so I know what you mean. So then, Alan says, you are making my point for me. And what point is that, Alan? Nunya says, don't touch the nips. Definitely touch the nips, but I'm telling you, the more turned on she is, the better it will feel when you touch the nips. For example, if my boyfriend tries to touch me there and I'm not like ready, I'm like, ah! I will scream. But if I am very turned on, I'm like, I am in heaven. This is the most heavenly possible thing in the entire world. So it's very different. So Stoic says, it goes both ways. If she ain't reciprocating, it becomes awkward. Intimacy is better when both parties are reciprocating. Dude, what do you have to say about that?
When both parties are reciprocating?
Well, Stoic says, it goes both ways. If she ain't reciprocating, it becomes awkward. Intimacy is better when both parties are reciprocating.
I agree, but what does it matter? Like, you can only control yourself.
All right. But, like, you don't make me, like, reciprocate, like, during that. But Ghislaine says, what is normal frequency? According to sex therapists, there is no normal. It's only what you decide on as a couple. According to your own sex drives. That's what sex therapists say. So Crazy Tara says, yes, if she's not reciprocating, then one shouldn't escalate. That's rape. I don't agree. If she isn't liking it, you shouldn't escalate. If she's giving you signs, I don't like this, back off, I'm not into this, that's very bad. But if you're giving to someone and she's relaxing and having the submissive experience that most women want in sex, and she's just kind of like, you're giving her the experience and she's enjoying it, she's relaxing, she's getting into it, she's getting turned on, and she's not just like reaching out and grabbing your dick and also like jerking you off at the same time, that's completely fine. And no, you should not expect her to do that at the same time. She needs that time to relax, get into it. And then when she gets super turned on, like, let's say she's going on the runway and you're giving to her, and she's getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. By the time she gets to 8, she's going to start getting more animated, probably like, all right, I'm really horny now. Like, let me touch you. Let me, let's have sex. Let me start dirty talking or whatever. So, but in the beginning, it's okay for one person to be the giver, one person to be the receiver, one person to be the top, one person to be the bottom, one person to be the dom, one person to be the sub. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, to the people who like are so worried about the woman reciprocating, like think about like why restaurants will give you bread before you even like order anything, or even like give you the food before you've paid.
Mm-hmm. Good point, Dad. Very good point. Yeah, and just as a woman, that was kind of one of my biggest pet peeves when guys are just so grabby for the reciprocation. It's like, just give it a second. Like, can you give it all? Or are you just so desperate to take that you're afraid to give? Just especially if you're having sex with a woman for the first time. I mean, you have no idea how intense, scary, and going against all societal stigma and taboo it is for her to be there in the first place. I mean, what's the going rate? And you guys hate it when I say this, but what is the going rate for sex with a man? Oh, that's right.
Hundreds of dollars.
Hundreds?
Okay, sometimes thousands.
Are you serious, Dad? For sex with a man?
Like, oh, no. Like, it's free.
Exactly. It's free. That's my point. What's the going rate for sex with a woman? Hundreds to thousands of dollars. So, knowing that, can you just fucking give her a good experience until she's horny enough and wants you enough to start reciprocating? Or is even that too much to ask? You know what I mean? Should you just start like trying to slam her head down on your dick because like, oh, she might like change her mind. So let me get what I can quick as possible. Like, how attractive do you think that attitude is to a woman? Desperate, grabby, entitled. I mean, you guys hate entitled women. I'm just trying to tell you. She will reciprocate when she feels this guy provided me like a wonderful experience. What do you think, Dad?
I think it's worth the risk. Right?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, like, I don't even remember if this has ever happened to me. Oh, maybe one time I can think of where I didn't feel like I got the reciprocity. But like I would give good, what do you call it, like foreplay or whatever, like 10 times to get sex once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, Space Trump says, anyone desperate is kind of gross. I agree, Space Trump. Like, no one likes it. Cobra says, guys are impatient. Subconsciously, they were affected by porn. Be patient and enjoy the game as long as it takes. Take charge with women and start slow. Words trigger her. Use her mind against her. Well, I don't like how you're saying, I like the rest of it mostly, Cobra, but I don't like how you said use her mind against her. I mean, why not use her mind for her? Why does it have to be like you're manipulating her? Why not just you're trying to get her turned on for her pleasure? For both of your pleasures. Do you know what I mean? So Michael J says, that's it. That's the mentality I needed. I need to know that her process of being turned on like this is the process of her submission. It's, in my opinion, Michael J, it's the process of becoming relaxed enough, feeling fed enough, feeling satisfied with the exchange and the transaction of sex enough so that she can allow herself to be submissive almost as like a gift to you, or to just allow herself to go there. But until you kind of like give to her, why would she? Why should she? It just doesn't really make sense. You've given her nothing she needs or wants. Not nothing, but not enough.
This is the video I was saying I would make for Burial Speaks that you don't want me to make.
Oh, really? What part of it?
Like just the idea of like it's an exchange, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's not like transactional exactly, but like you are giving, and she will feel, in most cases, like she will feel like reciprocating.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, look at this drawing again. It's like what a man wants is basically squeezing this, sticking his dick in this, sticking his dick in here. Okay. And a woman wants all of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you just go straight to 10, 10, and 10, you've skipped the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that she wants. So what? How is this a satisfying experience for her? I'm telling you, she wants 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you want 10. And if you just take 10 and you don't give 1 through 9, how is she satisfied? How is she getting a good deal out of it? But that's how most sex is. I stick it in, I come. Did you come? Oh, you didn't? Huh, that's funny.
You must be frigid.
You must be frigid. Oh, you just lay there like a starfish. That's probably why.
My other girls come 10 times.
The last girl I was with came 100 times. Yeah, it was because my dick is so big. Yeah, she loved me, bro. Ridiculous. So anyway, guys. We're all being watched this. Exactly. Women need to feel really well looked after. Exactly. Cobra says, very well, made a mistake. Mind for her. I meant her mind will intensify the sexual triggers all over her body. It will do part of the work. That's very true. And that's another dimension to this drawing that we didn't cover this time. Okay. But that is dirty talk, compliments, what you say, talking and playing upon her fantasies. That can speed this whole process up a lot. This can intensify the whole process. Okay. And most guys don't have the foggiest about that. Although some guys are okay at the dirty talk. No, honestly, I haven't met many, but Beardo's amazing. But I haven't met most guys who were like super into the dirty talk. Some are okay, some are good. Leland says, hi, Victoria. I promise not to call you Veronica tonight. Oh, I appreciate that, Leland. Thank you. So, Agent 2 says, thanks for the wise words, Victoria. Wise words. I appreciate it. I need to ask more women on dates. So I've had a hard time finding people I vibe with. You do, Agent 2. You definitely need to ask more people on dates. And maybe, Agent 2, almost like stop worrying about like if you even vibe with them. Maybe try to just work on your sexual chemistry and try to work on this diagram and see if you can have sexual chemistry with people you don't vibe with. I don't know, just an idea, because I know it is hard to find people, you vibe with. But you can't let that stop you. So, anyway, guys. All right, guys. Well, I feel like that's probably enough for today. I'm gonna try to make a video of this.
That was good stuff.
Yeah, because I think you guys really need this. And the more I've even been with Beardo, the more clear this has become to me. That I'm like, I know you want 10, but I will freaking scream if you grab 10. And literally, just recently, I've heard, and I think it was on Vanessa and Xander's page, that they were talking about how the most common thing women complain about in the way men initiate is that boob honk, they call it. And so many guys are doing it. It was 90% of women were just like, I cannot fucking stand that. So it's very, very common male blind spot. Tell me, guys. Let me ask you, what are you guys thinking there? Are you just so excited? You're like, I'm seeing breasts. I cannot wait. I must touch. I don't know. Why do you think that it's just an obvious move to go, or I will put my dick. Let me ask you guys that.
Feels good.
Berto says it feels good. Space Trump says, I've never really just jumped to the honk. Wonderful, Space Trump. AH says, it's just so great. Okay. Yeah, so it's a common stumbling block for men because it's just so great, I guess. Right, guys? Anyway. Doom says, Robot Vic roasting everyone. Exactly. Man in Black says there's no thinking involved. It's an instinctual reaction. Oh, you guys gotta be kidding me. David, is it true? It's just an instinctual reaction to grab. Alien Traveler says it feels good for men, so we think it must feel good for the woman.
Yeah.
Good point. Very good point, Alien Traveler. Makes sense, I guess. I mean, I think that's probably some official fallacy, right?
Projection, definitely.
Yeah. But I'll tell you why, guys, that for the woman this feels so good. The whole lead up and build up is in Kenneth Play's course, he actually talks about how orgasm is almost like a very complex physical coordination that you have to do, engaging the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So it's first, I believe it's the parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest. So first you have to relax enough, basically, to get in the mindset to order. So first you have to kind of coordinate your body to relax. And then as soon as you're deeply relaxed, you have to coordinate your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, to kick on and quickly do this little flip and make you kind of push over the edge and come. So it kind of makes sense for women, because it's you kind of need all this to relax and feel, oh, the guy's giving me what I need. The guy's giving me what I like. The guy cares about me enough to do all this. I can relax. I can deeply relax. He's not overstimulating me. But then the more you relax, the more you kind of got to coordinate this flip with you kind of shock yourself into coming. So that's going to be where the kinky fantasies and the dom stuff really kick in. Because you're kind of okay, I'm relaxed, but now I need to almost jolt myself into coming. And so you can think about really taboo, shocking, intense fantasies for women. All this dominant submission stuff got to shock you into being and I'm coming. So this is the first part of the equation. Relax. Adam says, this was better than the Kino escalation techniques pickup artists teach. Thanks, Victoria. Oh, wow, Adam. So how did the pickup artists teach it? Maybe I should make this into a good video. Let me know, Adam. The experimenter says, thanks for the advice. Never had that experience. Good to know. Okay, the experimenter. So the Stoics says it's a sperm in us that makes us like that. Sperm just trying to find the egg. Interesting. Well, you know, the latest theory in fertility science is that the egg actually sends out special chemical attractants to basically pick which sperm it wants and attract it in kind of like a fast track to the egg. So it's not necessarily just this race like we used to think where it's like, may the strongest and fittest sperm win. It's kind of like, may the egg which the woman chooses with her Bene Gesserit powers be attracted to the egg. I just saw the movie Dune, so it's kind of like in my mind. But it kind of reminds me of that. It's almost like the magical powers of the egg, like selecting the sperm. Anyway, Adam says, I could send you a PDF of Vin de Carlos Kino escalation ladder to check out if you want. That would be awesome, Adam. I'd love that. It'd be really interesting to compare. Stoic says, so it's the women's fault why we men are like this. Lol, I'm joking. Yeah, Stoic, I guess you're right. That's a good point. Very interesting. So Ronnie says, how to gain masculine frame back and get her back? That's a complicated question, Ronnie. I think I got to go because, I've already been out here like super long time. Every time I post a live that's like 3 hours, people are like, what is wrong with you? What is your problem? So, yeah. All right, guys, I got to go. Anyway, guys, I hope you learned something tonight. If you want, email. Actually, you don't even need to email me anymore. You can just look at you can get a session with me, $60 consultation, by just going to the link that I'll put in the description. I already put it in the description. You could also email me if you want, if you have any questions, but you could just simply go to this link and pay through credit card or PayPal. If you want to pay through Venmo, you could email me.
$60.
Yep,
That's a
$60.
steal.
It's a steal compared to these pickup artist coaches. That's for sure.
These guys can change their whole life, the trajectory of their life.
Yep.
Their dating, their whole dating outlook and success rate.
Yes.
For $60.
Yes.
Wow.
And I'll just put this in the chat in case you guys want the link to my Calendly and my scheduling link for the one-on-one consultation. Yeah, guys, I think it is pretty reasonable. Knowing what these other coaches charge, thousands, $10,000s of dollars.
It's unreasonably cheap.
It's unreasonably cheap. I agree. But yeah, we can go over whatever you want. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. All your awesome questions, all your hilarious comments, the words of wisdom in the chat, the advice, the pushback. Yeah, guys, it's been super fun. Eric Lewis says, what's for $60? I just arrived. It's a consultation with me. So we can talk about your specific situation. We can talk about, I recently did a session on dirty talk. I gave him, David helped me come up with the list, but I gave him specific dirty talk examples. And somebody recently told me about Sterling Cooper's dirty talk course, and they said it was kind of like a big waste, and they told me what was in it. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Okay, mine's a lot better. So we could do the dirty talk stuff. We can talk about how to escalate on a date. We can look at your text messages. We could look at your online dating profile. What else can we do? We could talk about, this girl you're in love with. What's the best way to kind of like escalate things with her? Definitely done a lot of consultations on that. Pretty much whatever you want. We could just chat about your situation. I could just provide empathy and support and some suggestions, whatever you guys want. So I put the link in case you want one, and you can always email me. I will put my email in the chat as well. All right, guys. Have a wonderful day, night, or afternoon. Bye, guys.